Test, test, test. Let's get this underway, guys. What's happening? Ladies and gents, what's going on? Oh, let me just get this fired up here. Let's see here. Check out back audio here. All right, let me see here. Ta-da! The magic of internet and technology. Oh, what's going on, guys? What's happening? Oh, let me make this here a bit bigger. For now, until we get into other stuff. Good evening to everyone. Good morning to some of you. Everybody seems to jump in on there. Renee's in there. James Cragen. John Beck. Photography like magic. Noodles. Oh, yeah. Pete Ferrero's in there. What's going on, Pete? Richard's in there. How are ya? Phil C's in there. Josh D, what's going on, man? Renee Cruz. Oh, yeah. I don't know why these things are getting held for review. And there's nothing really being said. I don't understand. Rick Rocker Graham said, hi, Chris. I'm psyched for our Friday hangout. Yeah, guys, I was like totally bummed last week, but on the other side of the token, I'm like, the philosophy I have is the same thing I always told my kids. Listen, if somebody's going to drop their hours, I'm going to be there to pick them up. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? But I kind of missed out on hanging out with you guys on Friday, so it kind of sucked in that aspect. But, you got to do what you got to do, and it wouldn't surprise me. There's all kinds of crap going on at work. There's either people leaving, people staying, so it's hard to tell what the future brings, but who knows, right? We just play it out and see what happens. I'm sure it won't be the last time, because the way things are going, people are, I don't know. To me, they're playing the COVID card too much, too, where, they'll be like, oh, well, I'm feeling like I got a fever and whatever. And, they're like, oh, I got to go get tested. And, of course, I don't know how it is in everybody else's state or country, but you don't even have to bring back the, whether you had it or not. You just say, no, I didn't have it, or I do have it. And you don't even have to prove that to the employer. So basically I can play that card if I want to and just stay home for a week or two and just chill. But in the meantime, it screws everybody else up at work. So, and some people may be legit. They might be legit, but, most of them are finding out they're not too legit. So, you know what I mean? Alien Tanner, what's going on? I like that. Hi, Chris. Hi, all space heads. Let's see. Noodles, what's going on? He's at 33 strong. Got to press like 8 times a day. 8 times, I think. Seems like been a couple of weeks. Well, it is actually. It's the second week, right? The first week we didn't really have anything going on. If you want to call it that, it was last week we didn't have it. Following week we do. Eric Bauer, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Geoff Crummy, what's happening? Tony Gibbs is in there. Oh, yeah. Renee Von Oosterhout is there. Archetype Net's in there. Mimi Reacts is in there. Let's see. Elaine Walls, good evening to everybody, like I said. Or good morning, depending on where you're at. What part of the globe you're in or on. Where? Goat Heart's in there. Whoops. I hate it when the screen does this. Phil Gibbo. I'm Gaibo. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, so forgive me if I'm not. Promise you I'm not trying to butcher your last name. S. Carmichael, what's going on? Hello from Edinburgh. Nice. Mr. Corey, what's going on? Good to see you in there. Hey, you funky Friday peeps. Hi, Chris. Hey, all. Hope you are all groovy. Oh, yeah. I can tell you this says, hey, Chris, stay honorable, stay true, good guy. I appreciate that. Mauricio Rocha, I'm sorry. Rocha, I'm sorry. Hi, Chris. Hugs from Brazil. What's going on over there in Brazil? Hope you're good. I hope you're doing well. Thank you again for your special job. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching. I mean, you know, like I said, I can put the stuff out. I can have the channel. But it doesn't do any good if nobody's there. Nobody's on the channel, right? So, yeah. Let's see. What, this thing just jumped on me? I love it when it does that. MG Toes in there. Hey, he says. What's going on? Oh, yeah. Jack Bruce is in there. Hello, Chris. For a short moment, I am in. Greetings from Holland. Well, thanks, Jack. Thanks for stopping in, as always. Thank you very much there, Corey. I appreciate your support. As always, you guys are awesome. Oh, okay. This thing jumped on me. I thought it was a different name. It said a different word. I'm like, what is that? Again, Mr. Bush Corey, thank you very much. Mags K's in the house. What's going on, Mags? Z Quantum Leap is also in there. What's going on? Jerry McDonald's in there. James, you said, Chris, the vids this week were top of the range again. The last Mars vid was unreal, honestly. Well, you know, again, you know, that was, you know, submitted by a couple fine folks. They sent it in to me, and I was like, yeah, let me check that out. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I recognized the photo, guys, because I've done that same photo or part of that pan a while back. And I don't remember if I actually talked about it. I might have, but either way, they spotted it. Great eye. I think it was, I know it was Pete. I'm trying to make sure I don't, what was her last name? Anybody, not her last name, but what was her name? It's like I have it on the tip of my tongue and I just can't seem to get it. Oh, well, we all know who we're talking about. But great eye on their part. I've seen a couple things there. And to me, that doesn't look natural. Now, when you see other things that actually are, you know, again, you can see one thing and go, oh, it's a 90-degree angle. Of course, nature can make that. We know that, right? But when you see these, like, arches, 90-degree angles, you know, maybe circles on top of a square, so on and so forth, and you see these things repeatedly all over the photo, you can't help but to go, what? You know, clearly that's not just nature at play here, right? Oh, Mike Knapp, what's going on there, man? You said, hey, Chris, what's going on? Phil Gibbo, you said even real Jimmy Roberts put you out there, Chris. Oh, yeah, I mean, he does good work as, you know, he does the same thing I do, basically, right? He has his own way of doing it, does the measurements, does all kinds of cool stuff with his stuff. You know, it's hard to tell sometimes because, you know, like I said, any one of us could be a photographer and like really, really zoom into something and say, well, it appears to be only 6 feet high, 20 feet high. So it's good that he can do that because you can get some of these PDSs will actually say some of the, you know, the distance or height of some of these objects. So it does help. So he does a great job. And I give him shout outs when I can. You know, like I said, Jimmy and I are friends anyway. I've talked to him more than a few times, you know, personally, face to face. Well, not face to face, but over like FaceTime kind of thing. So he does good work. I mean, what can I say, you know? William Johnson, you said, my favorite YouTube subscription. Hi, Chris. What's going on, William? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Mimi Reacts, she said, Chris, have you heard about the Vertex channel? More than one of you guys have asked me about that. They post cool Mars anomalies. Yeah, but a lot of times, if you notice, Mimi, they literally copy other people's work. If you notice that, they'll take some stuff from other people's channels, which I still think is okay because they're just pulling it all together so they can make a video and you can just see it all kind of just like put together, which is good. But, you know, I just look at them and say, man, a lot of these things are made, you know, or seen by other people who have done the enhancements and everything else, and they're kind of like just using it, you know. But, I mean, they do have a good channel, don't get me wrong. But, you know, come up with your own work. It's like, Max K, you said, or you asked, Chris, will you be taking the brain chip? Not me, no way. Nope. I'm good. Now, they do have that thing that Elon wants to do where it's like, basically like your brain is interacted with the internet. You know, you don't even need a computer. It's kind of like the Matrix. Remember that they would just think, you know, or get into, like they stick it in the back of his head and just program into their brain. Or picture just thinking about something like, you know, gee, I'm having a problem with my car. How can I fix that? And it's like, you go through your head. And it's almost like you just visualize everything like videos, how to fix it and whatever else. So I guess in that aspect, it's not bad. But, you know, they would literally have to totally perfect that thing before you can actually, people would start accepting that. Maybe some people would jump right into it. Who knows, right? Shanna Emerson. Hi, Chris from Alaska. How are you? Love your videos. I have found a lot to think about. Well, that's good. I mean, you know, and welcome aboard there. I don't think I've ever seen you there, but you're saying from Alaska, so that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are thought-provoking because, you know, even if you say, well, I don't agree with your findings, you still can't help but to go, okay, seriously, though, that doesn't look like something that would nature make, right? It just doesn't look like that. So in some aspects, it's what it's all about, is to get people to think and maybe start to enhance these things themselves, and that's the whole point. And when I can do that, and I've had people tell me this, like, oh, man, you don't understand. You know, at first I thought this is all bogus crap, and then I started watching more and more of your stuff, and I said, wow. So they now actually have Photoshop, and they're doing the same thing. So now they're enhancing. I've done my job. That's the whole point of it. And it's awesome to see, you know, people do that. To actually take control and look at these photos and rip them apart themselves. That's awesome. Jack Bruce, you said 36 need to thumbs up. Come on, guys. Yeah, we got what? 76 watching, 33 thumbs up. Smash it, guys. Thumbs up. What else we got here? TFV, sup from White Mountains of Arizona. What's going on there in Arizona? I'll bet it's good and toasty over there right now. We're not too bad. I guess, you know, we've actually, well, it's not too bad, I guess. It's like 87 degrees here. Heat index of 96. It's like the tropics here, guys. I mean, it's insane because we're supposed to be getting the remnants of Laura, the Hurricane Laura. And my heart goes out to everybody in Louisiana and the eastern part of Texas. But Louisiana got their butts handed to them. And I feel bad for all those people up there, man. I wish I could do something to help them out. I mean, they just, you know, when you watch on the news, I mean, they literally got obliterated. So my heart goes out to these people, you know, that are down there. It's sad. I think there was very few deaths, but only one is too many, right? So it sucks. Let me see. This thing really did jump on me. Jesus. I thought it was just like a few down, but like, what? Oh, okay. There it is. I was just looking at Mags K right here when you said you're taking the brain chip. Okay. And then we got Shanna. Read hers. That's what it is. Thank you, Pete. You said Pete and Rosie. Oh, Rose. I think it was Rosie, I think. But mind-blowing vids this past week, Pete and Rosie. Yeah, I mean, it's cool. Again, people are just saying, you know what? I want to look at these things myself, and this is what they're finding. So awesome, man. I think like I said, more and more people need to be aware of this stuff. It doesn't matter whether they see it from me or any other channel. The point is, it's like, is this stuff the real deal? Let me go ahead and download it myself. Maybe this person's blowing smoke. And then when they see it for themselves, they go, whoa, wait a minute. This is actually in the photo. It doesn't make sense. And it should not be there. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Elaine, you asked, has anyone watched the NASA Rover live cam photoshopped? It isn't live. It's actually, the channel itself was live, but it's not live. It's a bunch of crap. I've had numerous people ask me, hey, man, there's a live feed. Well, first of all, Perseverance is not even there yet. And if they were going to do a live feed from the Curiosity, they would have done that when? I mean, it's only been there 8 years now, right? So they would have done it by now. And you can almost bet if they showed a real live video cam, it would probably be pretty darn pristine, and they would probably shoot themselves in the foot because of some of the stuff that they would actually show. So they're not about to bag themselves. So yeah, I mean the channel itself, because somebody sent me a link saying, hey Chris, look, a live feed from there. And actually several people have. And I look at it and I go, that's not live. I mean the channel itself was live again, but it's not live. They're just taking photos and what they're doing is they're going over like a pan. They're like panning over that. And they're showing photos of it. It's just, that's all they're doing. It's just basically a slideshow and stuff like that. It's not real. Yeah, James, yep. Rose or Rosie was her name. Kyle Harvey, what's going on, man? You said, hi all, just ate a large pizza by myself. Man, somebody's stuffed. Tony Gibbs, you said Sarah Michelle's work was great too. And then you said that was a manufactured arch, no doubt. Oh, yeah, I mean, when you look at it, like I said, you see one thing, you go, maybe it's just the way the rock somehow fell, or they just have that, maybe this weird shape to look like it. But again, you start looking at the things surrounding it, you just go, is that really natural? You guys make the decision. Like I tell you guys all the time, you got the last say in this. I'm not here to drill it into people's head. I'm just going, guys, this looks not anonymous, but anomalous to me. And I believe it looks like this. What do you guys think? We're not here to beat into persuade anybody. But it's like I want people just to actually look at this stuff themselves. They make their own conclusions. It's as simple as that. You guys many times have said, I don't see that. I see this instead. This is what I believe it is. And you'll see me. I'll give you like a heart and a thumbs up because I acknowledge you, and I love the fact, hence the word little heart, I love the fact you guys are commenting, and you're showing your own views and your own thoughts. That's the reason why you get those from me. So I'm actually acknowledging your comments, even if I can't get back to every single one of you, right? So it's just awesome that you guys are in this stuff, and that's what it does my heart good, you know? Elaine Walls, thank you very much for your support. It is appreciated, you know that. You said, yes, Chris, it is just photos stitched together, but you can find all kinds of artifacts, obviously photoshopped as well. Great to be doing the Hangout. I missed you all and the family. Well, again, I missed you guys too, man. It was just, it really did suck. And I was like, well, we'll do it next week. I wanted to do it during the weekend. If you notice, I only got the one video done. I actually had another one I was going to put out today, but I went out and did some yard work, never got around to it, and here we are. So I was like, well, hit the showers, get ready for this, have a quick bite to eat, and here we are. So, yeah. But I will definitely have another one coming out too. I'm going to try to get out over the weekend, but if not, I'm going to definitely have it out by Monday. I like to really, get these things out if I can, because I got I think there's maybe 3, maybe 4 in Photoshop right now. A couple of them on the moon, which Sarah Michelle also showed me this site, and it's basically from the orbiter, and this is basically they're almost untouched, but they're not. Because the more I got into them, they've been really messed around with too. But they left some things in there. Again, make some things with what's the word I want to use? They really brighten it up. Bring up the exposure in some areas somehow. Or they get the exposure way up, and then what they do is they darken some other areas. So you might see half of something, and then the rest of it's dark. and it looks like structures, and then they had it docking over here where there's more structures. So when you bring up the brightness of that and drop the brightness of this side, you can make it almost even, and you can see the structures on this moon, and they're there. These would go back to, I think it was like 1963 or something like that. Even I think some of them even 1970. So those will be coming up. And although it's like small areas, point is it's still there, and you can see these things. Just awesome. Again, Elaine, appreciate your support there. Much appreciated. Mimi, you said, but during their live stream, NASA can't Photoshop anything. No, but they're getting the photos from, what NASA supplies, the public. So, if you're getting them, then they're already manipulated or Photoshopped. Now, if these people are taking it directly off other people's pages, like a still shot or Facebook or anything like that, and they've done the enhancements already, then they're sharing that too. So they're doing the normal shots that NASA gives the public, and then they're getting some of these from like Facebook and stuff like that, and all these other sites where they literally have people have already enhanced them, and so they're taking those too and they're putting them on there as well. So yeah. Stranger Time says, are allowed to share our channels in chat. How can there be so many straight lines and curves on these things? Exactly. One or two, of course, Mother Nature can make like 90-degree angles. She can make some things that are circular, square, things like that. Of course, absolutely. Have it here on Earth. There's no doubt about that. When you see it all in one area, though, like you can see like 90-degree angles on like flat rock, right? But then you see a circle on top of a square. You can see what looks like white pieces coming down under rocks. Almost looks like pieces of steel, yet it's a rock. Wait a minute. So they're using what they call a rock mimicking software to try to block this out, but they have screwed up many times. And I'm going to show you one that was also found by somebody on Facebook. And I've done this photo a while back as well, 2 or 3 years ago. And I'll show you what I mean by this, the way they do this crap. And by the way, when you see this one thing, you're going to go, oh, wait a minute. If I see that in ancient civilizations, meaning the ruins from them, right off the bat you'd say ancient ruins. But yet if you showed NASA this, they'd go, yeah, it's pareidolia. I mean, what? You'll see what I mean. Key Titan Nav, you said any live stream would be necessity. Oh, I'm sorry, by necessity, be delayed at least by a physical transmission delay due to orbital positions and DSN relay. Absolutely. Absolutely. Arts and Crafts, what's going on? Good to see you in there as well. Good evening to you. I don't remember if you're here in the States now. I got so many of you guys here. It's like, boom. I'm trying to remember where everybody is. But good evening or good morning to you. Dale Rogers, what's going on? Good to see you in there as well. Sarah Michelle Lafreniere, what's going on? Good to see you in there as well. I think you heard me talk about the... You're giving me that page where it has all the moon photos. Got a couple of those coming up. Those are cool. Found some really neat stuff, but unfortunately they have been manipulated. But they did not take it all out, which is awesome. So it's almost like an old school manipulation, but didn't do it right. So awesome to them for messing that up. But good evening. Good to see you in there. So Autocross is taking off as well. A big hello here. I cannot chat because I am at work, so I can't touch my phone. But much love to everyone. Hello, Chris. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Arts and Crafts. I do appreciate the hello. Hello back to you. Don't work too hard. Have yourself a great weekend there, right? I love it. I mean, even the subs, when they're busy, they just pop in just to say hello. That's awesome. Most people, I ain't got the time. I ain't going on there. I mean, I think that's awesome. That's why I said you guys rock, man. I don't know of any. I've been on a lot of live feeds, man. I just don't see it. I see people chatting amongst each other. I get that. But when you see people like this here, you guys, nah. Can't even compare. Colmany 37, Mars looks like it has blocks of concrete all over it. Yeah, absolutely. Some of them, and when you see this one here, it looks like it's almost like an interlocking block. So picture this as the end of a block. But at the bottom, it goes like this, up, boom, it comes like this here. It's like, it just interlocks, and then the bottom block would lock into the middle of that and then come out, right? So, again, if we've seen that type of rock or block, we'd automatically assume, oh my God, that's an ancient part of a structure. Show everybody, like for NASA, of course, they know this is fake, meaning they're covering it up. So the things around it, you'll see what I'm talking about. They know they're doctoring these things up, but there's times where they screw up and they're just, that's nothing. That's just pareidolia. Oh, yeah? Well, it's not pareidolia. It's called a mistake on your part that you didn't take it out. That's the whole thing. Eric Blair, what's going on? Good to see you in there as well. You were talking to Stranger Times. Have been waiting for imminent disclosure for a long time. Yeah, and again, this drip, drip, drip. That's all it's about, man. That's all it's about. But at this point, we'll take it, right? So if a couple of them guys from NASA are a little disgruntled, go ahead and just keep sliding some of them out if you don't mind. We do appreciate it. We'll take it any way we can get it. That's the way it is. Empty Toe says, thumbs up, everyone. What do we got? Like just close to 100 watching. 56 thumbs up. And we also got a fan. We got a thumbs down. Awesome. Oh, my God. I think it's funny. I think it's comical, actually. I really do. I've said this many times. They think, oh, I'm going to hurt these guys. I'm going to give them a thumbs down. How is that affecting anybody here? Everybody happy? Everybody have a problem with that? Nope. It's some of the favorite other channels, YouTubers out there. Oh, yeah. It's okay, though. I think it's actually comical. Doesn't hurt me in the least bit. See Quantum Leap. Yeah, you're right about that. He said if the moon flew away, NASA would say it was never there. Be like, guys, it's all in your head, man. It's that... it's just in your head. It was never there. What were you guys seeing all this time? It's the Mandela effect. It was never there. Which, incidentally, though, they're still saying the moon's actually, leaving the orbit by, like, what? I think it's like an inch a year or some goofy thing. Every inch and a half or something like that every year. Really weird. Let's see here. I love it when this thing jumps like this. Oh, sorry, you said, hi, Chris. I did the old NASA one. Yep. And, yeah, thank you for that, by the way. So we're going to be sharing that. And like I said, there's one. This is cool because there's actually 2 photos on this one particular page. And you'll know which one I'm talking about, Sarah. It is page 37. Go to that. Look at the right photo. Now take that photo, 90, turn it 90 degrees, and look at it. You'll see the bottom photo actually has something really large in that crater there, and it's standing up and it has a shadow. It doesn't. It's not like a boulder or some kind of impact rock, right? When you see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Then look at the one on the top. Look really carefully around. You're going to see these little squares, and the way the landscape works. It's like this, I don't know how to explain it. You'll see it you'll notice when you see it. You'll be like, wow, this is cool. So have a look at that. So guys, you can thank Sarah for that because when she showed me that, I said, ooh, look at this. All kinds of good stuff to look at. So, yeah. She's a good researcher. I got to give her that. No doubt about it. And I love that stuff. Lightning Watcher, what's happening? You say, hi, Chris, and all. I hope you've been good there, Limey. Michael Hart, what's going on? At work, but I am still listening with my earbud in one ear. Well, I appreciate that, Michael. That's awesome. Try not to overwork yourself, though, and don't get caught. I know some places they're like, you don't have those in your ears, do you? Do that one more time, you're fired. You're like, oh, crap. You know? It's like... Not sure I understand the question. It's the way you wrote it, Dale. You said, Chris, how come the astronauts couldn't, is it saying, I think you left out a word, couldn't jump 6 feet off the ground, or, I'm not sure what you're saying there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do rock. There's no doubt about it, Sarah. No doubt about it. So I said, you know, I don't just do that just to blow smoke out of everybody's rear end. Like I said, I've been on plenty of these things, you know, live feeds and watch them. And a lot of people have a really good bunch of people, but, you know, they say hi to each other and what's going on and all this other stuff. But, you know, everybody looks out for each other on here and all kinds of stuff. And just a great bunch of people. Often imitated, never duplicated. I have, Alien Tenor. He said, anyone noticed that since things have been relaxed, the chemtrails have started again? Yup. Archetype Net, you said there are many Mars pics that look like bits of Utah. Yeah, remember that one they had? I think it was somebody compared it to a mound or something like that. And one, I don't know if it was Utah or another state or wherever it was. Heck, it could have been Greenland because I hear that a lot. And what they did was they colored this thing, and then they threw the rover in there and said, see, look at this, man. It's definitely from here on Earth. It's like, it's been known to be a hoax. But it goes to show you, though, let's suppose just for a moment that a lot of what we see looks a lot like Earth. Does it mean it's Earth? Or does it mean it's so much like Earth? In other words, it wasn't without life for too long, as far as I'm concerned. And I think this is probably the consensus here. Some people would say it's a little, you know, maybe later than that. Meaning earlier, it's like it might have happened maybe thousands of years ago. I don't think that's the case. Now, from what we're seeing, and according to NASA, like I said, with these windstorms, it does have a water cycle on there, so on and so forth. And it's got brine, which is highly salt-contented water. So you would think these things would be rusted away, everything would be crap, there'd be nothing to be dust if it was that long ago. And we're not seeing that. We're seeing stuff that's still there, right? So, yeah. Me here actually said, Chris, the fake sand and rock in the last video cracked me up. Yeah, and you're getting to see this more and more, aren't you? It's kind of like, now you can just pick it out and not even trying. And again, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get you guys' eyes tuned to this manipulation and look past it. Because a lot of times, this manipulation, look carefully. Sometimes you can see through a rock. You're going, how is this possible? How do you see through a rock? And, well, you'll see something like it looks like a rock, but look carefully. You see something like, look at something on the side of that rock. Sometimes you can actually see it going in it. In other words, it looks like it's behind it, but you can actually see the line very faintly going through the other rock. Well, how is that possible? Doesn't make any sense, does it? Pete, you said, I think Mars was colonized moon by a habitat or a larger plant, then became a lifeboat for some of the that civilization. Some came to Earth, my opinion. Well, yeah, and we said that as, you know, that's a possibility. Hold on, let me get that. Hate it when that happens. Anyway, you know, we've said that before where we believe that might have happened where Mars, maybe that was the civilization, right? Maybe that was once our Earth and we all came here. Or somehow it was both. It was Mars, it was both Mars and Earth. And at some point we were traveling back and forth. then there's a pending doom. We just decided to come back here. Because this was, thousands upon thousands of years ago, and of course the planet almost lost complete life after so many catastrophes, because we've been hit too, right, by giant rocks, 65 million years ago with the dinosaurs, so on and so forth. So almost wiped out all life on Earth, and then it restarted. In other words, it never was completely killed off, and this is where we are at now. Maybe this is the reason why we are like a civilization with amnesia, and this is the reason why, we're coming back going, well, this is the most technologically advanced we've been. Is that true? Who knows? Not if we had a civilization way back before these catastrophes hit Earth, maybe long before that. Yeah, Corey, we get that. It's just other haters from up there, other uploaders. I already know who they are. He said, I see a thumbs down. What the F? Best YouTube channel by far, in my opinion. Well, you get that. Haters going to hate. And like I said, if I see them on there, I just go, what? Who cares? You know what I mean? It's like they just feel like, oh, I'm going to do damage to this channel. It's like, you're not. I mean, yeah, it's just like they figured if there's so many thumbs up, if I could be that one thumbs down, it'll make my day. That's a sad life existence. Let me just put it that way. That's sad. In Stranger Times, you said, yep, got to share and let the people know what we see and find, brothers. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Daniel Webster, you said, right, but they even said themselves, Luis Elizondo released them without permission, and he didn't release the better parts. What most people don't know is the UFOs come out of the giant one underwater, and it didn't finish, so I don't know if he just ran out of characters there, but... Rick the Rocker, thank you very much for your support, brother. It's good to see you in there. I know you can't make it all the time, but it's cool that you do. And again, thank you very much for your support. It is appreciated. I love the flying dude. That's pretty funny. Oh, yeah. Well, Jerry, I mean, that's the same thing. I mean, it's like the average person just doesn't care about what's going out there, right? Because you made a statement saying, hey, community, try asking anyone you know why the moon is called a moon and what is a star, and I bet they won't have a clue. Well, that's the whole key, too. And I've said this. This is the reason why a lot of people need to try to awake to this because now some people don't care. They're like, so what if there's life on Mars? I don't know. To me, it just... because it opens up your mind to a whole new world, if you will. And I'm not talking about just Mars, but your mind is like now it can expand and think on a much larger scale as opposed to, yep, we're the only life in the universe. That's it. Just a mundane thing and no big deal. No, it's much more than that. We are part of something much larger. And I wish people would actually see that because it's amazing that when you see things on the moon, when you see things on Mars, clearly there was other civilizations in our own solar system, although they keep saying, yeah, we're looking for, life perhaps outside our solar system, exosolar system, right? When it's right here in our own solar system, or was, regardless whether it is or was. So we are part of something much larger, and to me that makes me feel awesome because, I've said many times, I think when we die, we become energy. And just like we're part of the cosmos anyway, we are part of carbon life forms. Carbon is throughout the universe. And like I said before, I love the saying, somebody told me that a long time ago, short and sweet. They said, listen, the fact that we are here proves there's other life. Yeah. We are not that damn special, guys. Come on. We may be the way we are, our physical being, but that doesn't mean something else can't exist that's something similar to us. Maybe they have something very similar atmospheric conditions and so on and so forth, and they're very, very much like us. Or are we a lot older than we thought, meaning are we just branched off in the universe and we are part of another civilization that's still out there that's just like us? We don't know that. Maybe the government knows that, but we don't, or at least we're not privy to this information, right? So come on, you know. I'm going to jump all the way down to the bottom here. Cream cheese, you said it changes everything from philosophical implications in our very existence. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I mean, again, you know, along with Jerry was saying, just go to work. Ask your family members, hey, what do you think about those latest Mars photos? Latest Mars photos? I don't know what you're talking about. How about that rover that's on there right now? How about the new one going to Mars in 2021, the Perseverance? I don't know what that is. They don't have a clue. And it doesn't mean that they're stupid. They're just ignorant. They don't know what's going on, and some of them just don't particularly care. They just don't. They're just like, I'm just happy with my life, and I'm good. I like to explore, man. I like to open my mind a little bit, you know, and then, you know, just see what's going on around me. And I'm sure you guys are the same way. You go, it's just, if they admit it tomorrow, you just feel like this. I mean, I think it would, I don't know why they'd have to admit it. Well, they'd have to admit it. But as far as us going, okay, now we have permission to now broaden our minds. No. That's happened a long time ago for me. And, you know, I think people need to realize that even, you know, even after our existence here on Earth, we are part of energy. We will go back out there. How do we know we're not part of this civilization that's pure energy and that we're going back to that? We don't know. It's pure speculation, of course. We know that, right? But how do we know? We think we know. We have an idea. We have theories. But it doesn't mean we know for sure, right? Alien Tenno, thank you very much for your support. Hold on. He said, my belief is that, is this, Chris, our solar system has always had life. It's everywhere. Ceres, yeah. Triton, Europa, Ganymede. If we exist, it's everywhere. Exactly right. Now, I'm not saying it's on every planet, don't get me wrong, because that would be kind of bogus. But, and like I said, they had done... Who was it that did that? Maybe you guys know off the top of your head. The one that did that, the calculation saying, listen, out of every planet and star and moon that we know about, there's like, they're guessing there's like 10,000 or 10 million freaking planets out there that could possibly harbor life. Even if it's 10,000. My God, what? So, and again, the fact that we are here means there's life other places. And I strongly believe that. Again, Alien, thank you for your support. Much appreciated, man. TFV, you said to find other life in our solar system would be amazing. And just what we need to bring out truth. Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, you can tell me right here, or you guys can voice your opinion right here. Tomorrow, if they admitted it, how would you feel about how you feel on Earth and then how you feel outside of Earth? What would change in your mind? What exactly would change? Would it change your religious state? Would it change just the way your being itself feels? Drop your thoughts. Tell me what you think. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, it is a good one, Elaine Walls, the way you said that. Talking to Dale about that. Arguing with the trolls like playing chess with a pigeon. They knock all the pieces over, crap on the board, then strut around saying, I won. It's like, yeah. And that's what they do. They gloat like they're doing something to the channel. I think it's hilarious. You know, I don't even care. Architect Net, you said when people do not have to worry about every life in pure survival, then your mind is free to explore these questions. Absolutely. Tony, yeah, you're right. I mean, there you go, right there, Drake's equation. You said Drake's formula is probably not radical enough. I think you're right. I think there's a lot more because, life can be anything from microbial to macro to way above us, right? It could be like giant life forms on different planets because there's planets that dwarf Earth, right? And these are other places. I mean, these things could be breathing something totally different. They go, well, and something living needs to have oxygen. Well, how do we know that? How do we know it can't be part, part something else besides oxygen? We don't know that. We don't have a clue. We just think because that's what we need to live. Doesn't mean every life form out there is going to be the same way. It could be totally against everything we believe in. Darren Am, do you think stuff falls off the rover? Not particularly. It's built pretty well. I know there was that one picture. Remember that one picture they had on the ground where something was there and then it was gone? They were trying to figure out where the hell this thing went. Now, some people were saying, it's something that fell off the rover or whatever. No. Understand in California and other places where they take this rover, they have a testing ground. I mean, they literally have this thing going over boulders that is probably like the size of your head, if not the size of your torso, and it moves so slowly, the chance of that happening is slim and none. So in other words, it's not being vibrated to death where it's little stuff literally falling off. And if you see the way these things are locked, I mean, they got Torx, heads on these things. They're, you can bet they're Loctited on, the whole nine yards. I mean, they're very robust and very well put together, machines. And now, don't get me wrong, now the first PC board, the motherboard, took a dump on that thing not long after it was it landed or was put on Mars. I forget what it was. I don't think it was, a year or two into it, maybe a year into it. And the first one took a dump, and of course, they went on to the redundant motherboard on the Curiosity, and it's still functioning today. So there might have been something they didn't have it coated in like an epoxy, something to keep it real, rigid and keep it from vibrating too much and breaking. But a lot of those boards will use what they call a SMC, which is a surface mount component. And they're not like a resistor in the old days where they literally had two legs and they stood off the actual board. They're literally on the board. I mean, so vibration is less of a hindrance and won't really ruin these components. But that doesn't mean it can't take a dump. Maybe it's a fault of a solder joint or whatever it might have been, Turklerin, what's going on? It's good to see you in there. He said, why is Russia not interested in Mars but in Venus? Look at Venera program from Russia. Can it be that Mars rovers from NASA actually from Venus? Excuse me. Man, that drink's killing me. NASA hiding Venus under Mars? No, it's not even the case at all, Turklerin. You have to look at Russia just sent a probe last year to Mars. They made a simple statement about it. They're sending I think it's just an orbiter. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, guys, just correct me on this. But it did send a probe. Now, you never heard another thing about it. This happened, I think, last year. It was like in late part of the year. I'm almost guessing it was somewhere around October-ish. And it was going towards Mars, and I've never heard a word about it after that. That's what I'm saying. They're just like, oh, yeah, we're just going to send this little probe, whether it's an orbiter or whatever. But again, these countries are working together, guys. They're working together as, like if this country can't do it, well, then this country can do it. And they collaborate on the different things, whether they're building parts of the rover, whether they're the communications part of it, whatever it may be, they're all in on it. And I don't make it mean like they're doing something secretive, although, the Black Ops part of it is. But as far as getting like collaboration and coming together and getting these things together and doing these, these missions, because like Japan and some other countries like India can actually fly to Mars cheaper than we can. So we build it, have them launch it. I mean, so getting together like that can actually help get these missions done, right? So, yeah. Yeah, Darren. Yeah, he said I had a chat with Dave Garnett about this. It's a $1 billion machine. Stuff does not fall off of it. No. Again, I mean, it's literally vibrated. It's tested over and over again. It's put in harsh, areas, whether it be extremely hot, extremely cold. These things are tested, and they have to be robust, in order to be on this planet. Because if most of them, whether it's too cold, too hot. Now it does have, it's nuclear powered, so therefore it has, it's decaying. It's got I forget if it's a plutonium that's on that. Because I know there's something we're going to talk about too. It's actually got plutonium. And basically it's a radioactive isotope that's actually, basically just disintegrating, right? It's coming just, basically just, it's supplying the rover with electricity. And so, a lot of this stuff here, the way it's built, it has to be, like the electronics. So that it actually gives up a lot of thermo. So it'll heat up the body of the rover, and when it gets too hot, it'll cool it off. So it actually has a ventilation, like a fans and stuff like that, to cool off the inside of the body of the actual rover. So when it gets cold at night, it uses the radioactive isotope. I was going to say rice. Isotope. Well, we can actually make rice there too, I guess. So it'll use that to heat the body of the actual rover inside too. So it keeps almost, I don't know about a constant, but it stops it from spiking or going too hot or too cold, to help that from expanding and contracting of the electronics and disabling this thing. So, yeah, pretty interesting the way it's built. And this new Perseverance is no different. In fact, it's going to be even a lot better, the way it's built. I love it when this thing just jumped on me again. All right. Noodles, I see the what do you call it there? Your comment to Sarah, yeah. I like those little Bertones. Those are cool. Those are pretty sweet little cars. Grant McGowan, what's going on? He said photos from Venus missions are so hard to find, which is frustrating. Recommendations, Chris? I'll be honest with you. I'd do the same thing you guys do. I just Google it and try to find the best things I can find, right? And a lot of times these things are so CGI'd, it's sad looking. I don't know if you guys have looked at these photos yourself, but even if they show like a distance away, in other words, they show the planet, it's so far away you can't see any details, so there's no point. And if they get really close in, like they're like over the actual planet, moon, whatever they want to show you, it seems like it's CGI'd. It looks like crap. So it's like, you just, yeah. Mars Times, you said corporations are getting together, not countries. Oh, no, the countries are doing it too. I've been down to Kennedy Space Center, and when you go down there, it'll literally have, there's a large room you can go into where they have like rocket engines and stuff like that, where it showed flags from different countries. It's not just, just different corporations. It's actually, a lot of the countries are getting together to do this. India went up there with its bomb probe. And, like I said, they started off, we're going to show you spectacular photos, this, that, and the other. Like I said, I don't think there was 10. There's around 10 photos, give or take a couple, right? And that was it. And like I said, I went on the actual page, and I think they were on Facebook as well as Twitter, I think. But I went on there, the Indian space program, and it was funny because people were frustrated. They were like, where's the photos you guys promised us? Where's it at? Nothing. That's it. Done, guys. So, yeah, they all start off like, yeah, we're going to give you this, that, and the other. And the country's going, yeah, we're behind you 100%. And then all of a sudden, nothing. It's like, oh, that's nice. Let me see. Oh, okay. No, I was way down the bottom there, Lemmy Watcher, and he said, did my last comment sound mad? I guess you meant like you were crazy, but you said large jellyfish stingray kind of biolife as big as football fields. Well, we don't know that. It could very well be, right? Because, again, some of these planets are so darn large that you don't know what we have here on Earth may be completely dwarfed by anything on another larger planet, right? Or they might be a lot smaller. So it's not out of the realm. I don't think anybody's crazy or mad thinking that. I think it's just anything's open because they don't even know. They have no clue. We're just going to have to check it out. And, of course, I think they already have a long time ago, right? And I think they know. Let me jump down here. Oh, I'm with you on that, Daniel. You said I was always hoping a foreign country would spill the beans, but China's hiding moon artifacts the same way NASA is. Yep, absolutely. As soon as they came out with their Chang 3, Chang 4, or Chang'e, call it what you like, when they came out with those, they came out with a couple of them. Oh, my God. It was so sad that I didn't have to look at the raw photos, meaning the raw plates of the photo. I mean, they were just, boom, blatantly just trash. And all you could see was their lander. And that was it in the distance of the photo. I'm like, what happened to this photo? Completely butchered it. Wow. Alien Tenor said Mars got effed up by the Anunnaki. The general was dissident against his leaders, and they punished. The planet has, as an example of not to obey us, there's evidence of nuke residual on Gamora. Yeah. Oh, Gamora. Well, I'm not sure who actually lived there. I mean, they did say that in their writings, that they literally were on the moon, both Mars, moon, and here. Again, these were writings. Now, were they bogus? May actually be some truth to that. We don't know. Oh, I see you going, you're talking about Christopher Columbus, what Sarah had said about Tony. You said Columbus' story is written in his own hand, first-person account of a flying light thing. Yeah, remember that? How I think he said it come out of the water, went back into the water, came back out, and stuff like that. And this is written by Christopher Columbus, right? I mean, why would they make that up? I mean, and what could possibly do that back then? Oops. Pete, you said I read that. Let me see. I read that the gold wraps on satellites not only protect against radiation, but hide electronics as well, cloaked, so to speak. I don't know about the cloak part, but they definitely do that. They actually, they're a good insulator. Gold is actually a good insulator, right? And of course, it's being highly reflective. There you go. So, yeah, it definitely helps cool it down or keep it cool. Turklerin, you said NASA equals misinformation. Gravity of the planets Venus, Neptune, and Saturn is the only people can stand on, almost equal to Earth. Gravity issue could help us live on other planets. Yeah. TFV, you said, Chris, do you feel that the moon and Mars are currently occupied by other intelligent beings? It's a good possibility. I can't say yes or I can't say no, because I'm not there, right? It's a very good I hate it. My throat gets dried out. Refreshing. Like I said, I can't say yes and I can't say no, right? Me personally, if there's not humans there, or humanoids, we'll call them, on the moon or Mars, there's at least organic life, and they're not showing the people. Or there's at least insects on Mars. Now, I believe there may something still be going on the moon. It's weird because it's almost like, I don't know if you guys get the same impression. It almost seems like the moon, like there used to be civilizations on the moon. Now it seems like they're in the moon. Or it was both at one time, or always been like that. Because people have taken some videos and, now some of them are hoaxes, of course, but some of them taken where it looks like something's coming out of an actual crater. Now, some of them I know has been known to be hoaxes and some not so much. So, is it possible? I think so either way. I'm 50-50 on it, and I'm not saying no and I'm not saying yes. I think there's a good possibility. You'd have to be closed-minded to believe, no, it never could happen. Why not? I mean, absolutely. Rattan 50, or Rattan 50. What's going on? Got 123 watches, guys. Only got 87 thumbs up. Smash that like button for me. Would appreciate it. Basically, YouTube says, hey, look at all these thumbs up. We're actually going to share this. We'll get it out more and more. Oh, yeah, Jerry. That was actually pretty funny. You said, has anyone seen the ad for the baked beans about the moon and 3 astronauts got attacked by an alien monster? Check it out. Yeah, that is funny. I did see that. I think the other one, when he hides, he goes behind that big rock and it breaks wind. That's pretty funny. That is good. Daniel, you said, what's to say that Earth is the norm out there? I know most giant planets are gas, like Jupiter, but still, they would likely have many moons. Both planets, Jupiter and Saturn, have 100. Well, I mean, Christ, what is it? Is it Saturn? Or Jupiter has 63 moons? Because at one time they thought it was like 23, right? So I guess the more that they watch, and of course you can see different sizes, different dimensions, whatever, whether they're just like rocks and they consider them moons. But there's like 64 of these darn things now, and just in one planet. It's like, wow. I'm not sure your name because it looks like it's either Russian or whatever. I'm not sure what that is. Hold on. I'm not even going to attempt to try to say your name. But the question was, Chris, do you believe that in theory that humans were banned to visit the moon and that's why we never went back? I'm not so sure about that, even though somebody, they claim that, our astronauts were told not to go. I don't know if they were told not to go, but when they were there, they said that, some of the astronauts claimed that there was spacecraft on the edge, the edge of the one of the craters, and they were basically sitting there just watching them. So can you imagine if you were some of these aliens, and they said these ships were like immense. They were huge. And at one point, one of them said that there was something underneath the ground. They said, can you feel that? And they were like, yeah, it feels like it's moving. Now, that could have been a moonquake, right? But they thought that was really weird that they said, I think they're traveling under us. Now, can you imagine if they had some kind of, I don't know if I want to call it a rail system because it sounds so Earth. But let's suppose something like really fast transportation underground under the moon is like there's almost like a whole world, so to speak, inside the moon. We don't know that. Although there's been theories of speculation, huge speculation about that. But how do we know? I mean, they automatically, everybody just said, well, I don't see it, so therefore it's not there. It doesn't mean that it's not. And it doesn't mean they're going to be transparent about what they found on the moon. We're only getting little tiny bits and pieces of what, was said, was going on, right? Mars Times, you said, announcing past civilization on Mars will spark a high demand to get there. Some private company like SpaceX would get a lot of business. Well, they're going to go there anyway, regardless, right? Because, they're basically working with NASA now. And I'm sure they made agreements that, listen, when we get there, who knows if they plan to divvy this planet up or do whatever they're going to do, right? I think at some point, way in the future, when everybody does have to basically have civilizations, I'm hoping it's not going to be like what we have here, right? It's like, well, this whole piece of land here is basically China's. This whole piece of land over here happens to be Russians. This is the United States. No, let's make it the whole civilization is integrated with all the countries and working together like they're trying to do now. That's what I'm hoping. Darren, great question. He said, what created the Valles Marineris Trench? Well, they want to say, well, a couple of theories I've heard. One, a body, another planet, probably scraped the actual Martian surface and leaving this scar on the planet. Some say it was like the Thunderbolts project, talked about this great electricity had struck and, hit the surface and stuff like that. I'm finding it hard to believe either one. I'm not saying neither one could not be true. All I'm saying is that what happened is just a huge quake. Giant Martian quake. If what happened to that planet was devastating and rocked that planet, how do we know it wasn't created then? We're assuming that it was just the nuclear fallout or the nuclear bombs that they had seen or these explosions. But how about if it was much more than that? And what caused it? Because if you notice, it's like really crisp, kind of ripped apart kind of thing, right? It's not like something round went there and just kind of scraped it, right? Although it could have had mountains on this other body that could have just came real close and scraped it. That's a possibility. Who knows, right? It was funny. I had one guy told me, he says, talking about the octagon-shaped, craters on the moon. And he says, basically he's telling me I didn't know what I was talking about. He says it was created by, like basically static or like a plasma created that. And where he got that from was, I think the Thunderbolts project has also done that too, where they created that in an actual lab. Okay. I said, well, I can take a giant pan of water and go like this with a spoon and do it enough to where I can create a whirlpool. Does that mean every whirlpool you ever see on the planet is created by a giant person with a giant spoon? No. Just because you could create it doesn't mean that's the actual cause. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it can't be. I'm just saying that they automatically make the assumption, well, we can do it, so therefore that's what caused it. It's a theory. It's a running theory. That's all it means. Doesn't mean that's what actually caused it, right? So I've heard a couple theories about that, what caused it. And Archetype, you're asking him the same thing about the Thunderbolts project. I see that, and yeah. I'm going to try to jump down to the bottom, guys. So if I missed any of you guys, please just comment again. 786 autos also in. Not good, Chris. That will never happen to many things taking advantage of ones that are honest. Well, that's true. That's true. Greg Solsman, you said you should switch your background pics once in a while, Chris. Hello from Chicago suburbs. What's going on, man? Yeah, we're going to be getting into some tabs anyway and some stuff I've got here. So we'll, jump into those. Starting from the easiest stuff people I've been reading on the internet. And some of you guys talked about the Russian cosmonaut, talking about what he's seen on, coming from the ISS, I believe it was, with the Aurora Borealis. Or the northern, southern lights, call it what you will, depending on what part of the planet it's on at the time. Yeah. Bush Corey, it's a great question. It depends on perspective. When you look at from Earth and you look at the moon, what does it look like? Extremely small, right? But when you're on the body, okay, it's going to look pretty large. But the moon's going to also look pretty large too. Because people have said that. They go, well, why does the Earth should look so much bigger? It should look a lot bigger than the moon. Well, if you're literally standing on it, then the moon is huge because you're literally on it, right? So now you're seeing the Earth, and you go, why does the moon almost look the same size as the Earth? Well, because you're on the body of the moon, and because we're a distance away, the Earth now becomes smaller and almost looks like the same size as the moon. And if anybody that hasn't seen it, he said, sorry for a silly question. If you were standing on the moon and looked at Earth, how big would it look? Would it be like the size of the moon, we say? Excuse me. And basically, that's BS. Again, we got X amount of miles away, Earth is going to look smaller. But now that you're on the Earth, on the moon, standing on it looks a lot bigger. So it almost looks like, people said, well, the Earth should look humongous. Not really, because you're standing on the moon now, so the moon looks much bigger. So it's perspective, and how you stand there and what you're looking at, right? Mars Times, yeah, it's a great question too. You said, could a past civilization on Earth have survived on the moon? I think yes. Again, we're just learning about our past, and I know a lot of you guys will agree with that. There was a lot of you guys watch Praveen, the one that does all of the stuff from India and all these other ruins and stuff like that, where just some of the stuff looks so intricate as far as details. They're saying, did ancient man build these things? And you're talking about, anywhere from 3 to 20,000 years ago, and it's not just him doing it. There's other people showing, like the Egyptian pyramids and so on and so forth. How do they build it with these brass, like little hammers and chisels? And they want you to believe that they built all of this stuff. And when in fact you can go into the main chamber of these things and try to slide a razor blade after how many thousands of years it's been there? Even when it's settled, they said it's just barely off being completely true and straight. Yet you still can't stick a razor blade between these blocks. They want you to believe, and they're so granitely, and they're so shiny and flush. Smooth. Wow. It's just wild to believe that we really believe this was actually built just strictly by man? I think it was built by man, but I think it had a little bit of help doing it. So, yeah. But that's a good question, because like I said, yeah, absolutely. I think they, if our past was technologically advanced, it's a very good possibility. Think about it. If you're on the moon and a huge rock was coming, it's going to slam the Earth, well, it's pretty much the end of Earth. Of course, you better hope it doesn't explode and go right into the moon, because you're all dead anyway. But if you're there and it strikes the Earth and pretty much kills it off, you have a place to stay, so to speak, until all of that settles. And then you go back and basically build a civilization again, right? So that's a good possibility. My throat just gets dry, guys. Oh, yeah. Here's the first one here. We'll let you guys read that real quick as I'm going through these comments as well. Architect Net, you said Scotland will have its first spaceport due to begin construction in, I'm not sure what that, you got 212, so I don't know if that's what that is. 2212, I'm not sure what that in the Sutherland region. So perhaps Richard Branson's spaceship may be launching from there. Yeah, right now the way they're launching, you see like Elon Musk is doing, how they're launching theirs and stuff like that. Well, it's going to get to the point, it's going to be like a regular shuttle. Think about this a minute. They're going to have different propulsions. So they're literally going to get to the point where they can literally just take off from the ground. And like I said, different propulsions, they won't need as much. They can take off like a plane and just go out into space and whatever. It'll get to the point where it'll be just, think of the past, will be up on rockets and Atlas V's and stuff like that. Believe me, they'll get a lot more, technologically advanced. And it's going to be a cakewalk after a while. Noodles, you said there is evidence of a huge, fast-moving object under the USA heading east. Never heard of that. Is that something that was recent, Noodles? What's that about? Yeah, Grant, you're right. He said there is much speculation that Mars was a moon of a much larger planet, bigger than Earth. That is now the asteroid belt, which is, again, it's supposed to have, either rubbed off onto Mars, or I even heard it was from somewhere else, the moon, and somehow once the moon, it was a moon of another planet, that it got kicked into that orbit, and it is what it is today. So there's like a lot of different speculative kind of theories out there, right? John Sharp. What's happening? John Chi, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that one, last one right. He said, evening all. Good evening to you there, John. Sarah, you said pole shifts caused the Mariner's Trench on Earth. Likely same thing did on Mars too. Yeah, because I believe the Valles Marineris is basically, that might have been underwater at one point, because they did say, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, but they said there was a lot more water. There was just one landmass on Mars, and the rest of it was ocean. So we don't know if that's what that was, right? It was basically underwater at the time. Of course, now according to them, there's basically no oceans. So yeah, could very well be. Tony Gibbs, you said the moon picture that you and Sarah worked on appeared to have Earth stuff in one and alien in the other. Could already have teamwork going on. Yeah, it could very well be. Like I said, long before the astronauts went, they've already scoped the whole area out, right? They had the LRO-C orbiting. It mapped the planet. Oh, no, I'm sorry, the moon, because I'm thinking of Mars right now. It basically mapped the moon. So, it went over and over, and it's still there. It's not like it stopped. So it took, just basically mapping out the moon. So they know every little intricate part of that moon now. I mean, it's been there for how long now? So, and again, once the astronauts went, they didn't go there to say, hey, guys, I don't know what it is. We need some of that dust and some of the rocks there from the moon. So, we can just see how old, the moon is in comparison with Earth. And they can actually claim it's actually older. And if they don't believe that the moon's older, they believe some of the rocks that are there are actually older than the moon. Because there's different theories on that and different findings. But they didn't go there just for that. Again, you're mapping the moon. You're seeing these structures, whether it be on the other side of the moon, this side, doesn't matter. You're seeing these things up close. You're only 75 miles off the surface of the moon. You can see things with great detail, although they're not going to show the public this great detail. And when they do, like if they show like that one, they got one that's really fantastic when you look at it. It's got like, the quality is awesome, right? But when you zoom in, you can see where they got the strips, where they've done all the work. And just look at it. I've actually proved this, where you look at one strip and it's crystal clear. It looks awesome. Next one looks like garbage. And what does it have? Obfuscation. It's got some kind of manipulation, blurred out areas, so on and so forth. They're still censoring these things and then just putting in like a giant, I'm going to use the term pan, of the whole moon. But they're all different strips, so they can manipulate and obfuscate and change and censor whatever strip they want to hide whatever they want. So, yeah, they're no better than the photos that you and I are looking at. Dale Rogers said, honest to God, my grandfather was an engineer in the 70s. He told me, he told my mom that there were all kinds of tall buildings on the moon. NASA engineer. That's pretty awesome. Oh, okay, Sarah. That's good. That clears that up. Because I was looking at the person's name going, oh, I can't pronounce that if I try to save my life, unless I went into the translator, right? But Ilko, I guess, is the name. That helps. I don't want to say, yeah, that person said. Jonathan Waddell, what's going on? He said, good luck with that, Chris. I'm not sure what you're referring to on that one, but did I miss another comment of yours? Maybe I didn't see that, but we were just commenting about what I was saying. Pete Ferrari said, nuke waste isn't kept very well as is. How is a battery safe, especially for 28,000 years? Well, when you read this, it's the way they actually package it, and they use some kind of diamond lining. It's weird how they talk about this, but they want to really see. It says NDB purifies this graphite and uses it to create carbon-14 diamonds. That layer of diamonds coated in another layer, this time a carbon-12 diamonds, which acts as a tamper-proof protector to contain the radioactive material. And of course, you bounce down the next paragraph. Is before you get too concerned, though, the levels of radiation given off by the battery are lower than the natural radiation of the human body, so it should be safe. Now, of course, it'll take more studies and everything else. Would it be safe, so on and so forth. But they said that's one charge. They're not saying at first when you read it, it says never needs to be charged without charging. They're just saying that's one charge. So I'm assuming that it can be recharged. But they're jumping in leaps and bounds in these things. They want to make, I don't know if you guys have seen these, where they're making capacitors to be batteries, which I've seen people do, very large capacitors, and put them in a series, and they make a 12-volt battery kind of thing, and they can use it to start their car and everything with it. Of course, I don't think you could put on an accessory and listen to your radio, but yeah, interesting. Pretty cool stuff. See. Yeah, Grant, you're right about that. You said, I remember the nuke waste explosion from 1999, Space 1999. What a great show that was. Yeah, it was. What did they call that? That was the pilot, first one they did. What did they call it? Like Ripped Away or something like that. Where they had all this explosion. It literally, like, basically launched the moon out of orbit of Earth. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I am sorry to hear that. Equalizer said, good morning to all. Lost my brother-in-law to the virus on Wednesday, 58 years old. Dr. Burm, and I'm not sure, in Kosovo. Yeah, my heart goes out to you, man, and my condolences to you, man. That sucks. Hate to hear that. Oops. Yeah, I've seen that, Turkler, and you said moon has clouds according to Chinese lander. Look at this, and you showed a link right there where I've actually seen, they've actually talked about there's moisture on it, because there is actually water on the moon, right? A lot of it's ice, but there is actually water on the moon. They claim that that there was wet up there and stuff like that, and like some of the soil was sticky and stuff like that. So there is like some kind of a cloud or mist kind of thing. I'm not sure how true that is, but that's what they claim, right? Dr. Z, where is our flat earther? I don't see a flat earther here. Neo235, he said, greetings from Germany. Love your content, man. Well, I appreciate that, Neo. Welcome aboard. I don't think I've seen you on there before. Breakaway, that's what it was. Well, you're right. That's what I was trying to remember, that actual way, but that pilot one. That was a neat show. I wish they'd bring it back. Leonardo's notebook, he said, imagine a previous, I'll be all right. Advanced civilization had nuclear batteries and dumped them all over in a landfill. After 28,000 years, someone will discover deposit and spent uranium and wonder how. Well, it's kind of like in different parts of this, our own world, where we have, what was it called, petrification, where they have melting of rocks, so that they know there was ancient explosion. I think it was in India. Where they had ancient explosions here, where it had such high heat that, there's glass all over the ground as opposed to sand. So high heat, of course, we can make glass. This is where our windows come from in our vehicles. So, they have areas here on Earth that are like that. So you can imagine how, wow, people are dumbfounded. What the hell is that all about? Yeah. Man, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but in the background, right across the street from me, they're actually cutting concrete. You can hear that blade. And it's like, man. I mean, it's not super loud here, but you can just faintly hear it. I'm like, what are they doing over there? I looked over there, and they're actually working on an old garage. I don't know if they're going to put something in there and work on cars or whatever, but they're literally cutting up concrete in there. Raquel Gelstrom, you said many different cultures speak of where there was no moon. Absolutely right. I wonder whether tides were already happening before then, or whether we really need the moon for our tides. That's a great question. I mean, they did claim that back in the day. So I don't know. I mean, that would be puzzling to actually see, or actually be cool to see. I don't know if that'd be a good thing. Because it's supposed to be what's keeping the oceans in check, right? Get your high tides, your low tides, so on and so forth. So I'm wondering what would happen if it actually did just go. And that would be, I don't know if that'd be interesting or scary. And Darren AM, I want to say a big thanks to everyone around the world who has posted their thoughts here. Respect and peace to you. Well, I mean, Darren, I know you've been here for a little bit yourself, and like I said, it's like-minded people. If you're into this kind of thing, everybody here, nobody judges anybody. Everybody gets along here. It's just a great community. I've said it a million times, and I'll still keep saying it. That's it, man. There's nothing else you can say. It's just cool. Neo235, you said, I'm usually asleep when you do your hangouts, man. Glad I caught you right now in Germany at 12:30 in the morning. Well, that's a little late, but not too bad. But I'm glad you're here, man. Appreciate that. Dr. Z. Smith, you said, do you think disclosure will occur soon? Now, I'm afraid it's going to be a slow drip disclosure, man. Like I said before, unless we get some kind of disgruntled person that's going to, basically rat snitch out another country or something like that, I don't foresee it. I do believe it's going to start going in leaps and bounds now that a lot of these countries are going there. At some point, something's got to give, right? So I'm just waiting to see what happens there. We'll see. Oh, Dale, yeah, you're right. You said, I bet China has some awesome images. Yeah. Because you got to know that these guys are putting the best cameras they can find, right? They're not going to put some humdrum piece of trash on there that you can find some old phone. They claim it's only a 2 meg. Okay, 2 meg doesn't mean it's piss poor. You know what I mean? It just means it's small, right? So I'm guessing it's a lot bigger than they're telling the public. It's like the Curiosity one, the other rovers, whatever. You know that they're claiming, oh, it's only a 2 megapixel camera, whatever. Like I said, I think it's a regular camera that could be anywhere adjusted from maybe 2 megs up to 20, maybe 30 megs. And they just take it at 2 megs. They take the photo. Okay, this is for the public. Okay, let's go ahead and hit the settings, or it does it automatically, and it'll do like a 20 meg. So now it's much bigger for them to see, better detail, so on and so forth. This is the reason why you see me actually enlarging these and try to go to like a 300 dpi photo to bring this stuff out better. So when you zoom in, nothing breaks apart, or at least you hope it doesn't, right? But you can almost bet they got settings in those. The camera probably does click, 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 takes a few photos of 2 meg, and then just goes to the next settings, boom, boom, boom. This is for the special people, you know what I mean? Let's see. Jack Bruce, you said, sorry, I have to go, Chris. Watch rest later. As always, congrats to everyone. Well, Jack, I appreciate you stopping in, man, and it's good to have you in there, right? You have yourself a good weekend. Terry Kelling, he said, hi, Chris. Given the choice, visiting the moon or Mars, which would you choose? I'd have to go with Mars. Only because I believe you can actually still breathe and everything else on that planet. And it's much more than NASA's saying. I think there's much more on the planet than they're saying. And I think if there's a huge civilization on there, or was at one time, I would really like to explore that. Of course, I'd really like to explore what's on the moon. But if you had to stay there, what would be your choice? Think about that. Depends on longevity that you're there. It depends on what you want to see. Can we make a choice like stop at the moon, then Mars? All right, Sarah Michelle, you said, yeah, I must depart for this evening. Fabulous group, Chris. Thank you for everyone for being so wonderful and so kind. Well, Sarah, you fit right in here anyway. Everybody's just great people here. You know that. But anyway, have a great night. Stay in touch, and have yourself a good evening there, right? And much love to you. So, like I said, yeah, she just fits right in like everybody else here. So it's awesome. Let's see. Goldheart, you said, I mean, water on the moon. Ever read that in a science mag? Yes. No, it was actually on a, oh God, I'm trying to remember what it was now. I think it was physics.org or phys.org. You can find it on there. Just if you find the page, go on there, look it up, and you just put water on the moon. Now, there's a lot of frozen water that's in, I want to use the term poles on the moon, and they're, of course, in craters and they're ice, right? But there's actually moisture on the moon. Now, how much of it? I couldn't tell you that. But they do say there's actually moisture on the moon, and there's actually water on the moon. And they're hoping to use that as a fuel, once everybody gets up there, meaning we get situated up there. They want to use that like a part of a fuel, obviously, It would be hydrogen or whatever it may be. Oops. I'm not sure if this is a question, Dale, but you said, Chris, and you said, how is it we move backwards in technology? Well, let's suppose we had a civilization thousands of years that we don't know about. In other words, we were here, we're more technologically advanced than we are today, then basically we have gone backwards, right? But to me, all these space agencies and the military, the DOD, which one of you guys sent me that too, how it's got an affiliation with NASA, so on and so forth, and I'll share that with you guys soon. And we're going to get into this because we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 or 6 tabs to get into on this thing. Pretty cool stuff. So, but as far as now, I think we got technology to just simply blow our minds. We don't even have a clue what the military's got. But we do get trickled down stuff to us, which is good, right? So I think that's the case. I think as far as moving backwards, we might have been much more advanced back then. And like I said, we've lost our knowledge. And if you're only very few and you've had to build up the civilization again, is it possible that, we couldn't explain it, or I don't know. I mean, it's a great question. So it's kind of like I can't pretend to know exactly what happened, but you have to think about different ways. In other words, did we have a civilization way back then? And if we did, could we keep the information that we had for X amount of thousands of years, or did that just get watered down to nothing till they forgot about it? I don't know. But clearly there was more technologically advanced, even building the pyramids. Now, people think technologically advanced, they're going to find computers in there, and they're going to find all kinds of stuff. No, it doesn't mean that. You could be, advanced in the mind where you could build such things where we'd have a problem building that today. I mean, to get me wrong, manpower can do quite a bit, right? You can move blocks, you can do things. But, were these actually built by just man? Well, the Egyptians claimed not. They said the overseers helped us build it. They gave us the information, helped us build it. How true that is, I don't know, but it's in their writings. Lionheart Glassworks, such a great group. Indeed it is, Lionheart. Absolutely. Noodles, you said, do you think Elon has a secret plan to build Eagle 1? Well, I mean, at some point, you guys know. I mean, you got to know. I mean, they're using these rockets and stuff like that, but they'll have a propulsion where they can just simply use something similar to that, right? Or like we have these, our regular space shuttles. There'll be something similar to that, only more high-tech. And just be able to, with the propulsion systems, they'll be a lot better, whether it's ion, plasma, whatever it may be. I think it's going to be more ion. But they'll get to the point where they just take off and it's not even a problem. It won't even be an issue. And they won't have to use so much fuel to take off and everything else. They just kind of take off like a plane, keep going up, up, up until you're out in the atmosphere and out you go. So, yeah. Dave Havery, you said, hi, Chris. First time I've been on Hangout in a few weeks. I've missed the crack. Hi to everyone on here tonight. Well, Dave, good to see you back in there. Glad you can join us. Archetype Net, you said civilization rises and falls in a cyclic order. Watch the film narrated by James Earl Jones, The Great Year. Well, again, they said that too, which is really sad. They said, and I've said this saying before, and I still cannot remember the person who said this, but they said right out, once a civilization outgrows itself, it implodes. Is that what happened to Mars? Did somebody do it to Mars? What happened? Did they just simply move along? But knowing that we know about these two explosions on there, clearly, A, they did it to themselves, or B, something did it to them. one way or the other. Was it an accident if it was done by them? Was it warring? Was it, I mean, who knows? There's a lot of questions that get raised, right? We don't know. All right. Now, you guys remember Amor. Now they're saying, they're actually, check this out, guys. Interstellar visitor Amor could still be alien technology, new study hints, rather. Aliens, with a question mark, or a chunk of solid hydrogen. Which ideas make less sense? So, you can read this, and you guys, you get all the links to these. You guys know that. I won't cover every single thing on there. Where does it say? They talk about this right here, which is pretty interesting. It says, here's the problem with the Amor. It said, it moved like a comet, but didn't have the classic coma or tail of a comet, said astrophysicist Darrow Seligman. And an author of Solid Hydrogen Hypothesis, who is starting a postdoctoral fellowship in the astrophysics at the University of Chicago. Now, let me see. Amor was the first object ever seen flying into our solar system and back out again. That's opposed to most solar system objects that turn circles around the sun, never leaving the celestial neighborhood. And then they get into, let me see, that outgases change how the comet moves through space, he said. It's a bit like a very slow rocket engine. The sun strikes the comet, the warmest part of the comet bursts with gas, and that gas flowing away from the comet sends it tumbling faster and faster. But as they say here, they said it's not even, let me go right here. Now, they're talking about these other two people that were doing this science, doing this. Hoang and Loeb, I'm not sure I'm even pronouncing them right, but it doesn't matter, argued that even starlight in the coldest parts of space would warm up small chunks of solid hydrogen before the cold clump together and form a comet of Oumuamua large scale. And more importantly, the trek from the nearest giant molecule cloud, a dusty, gassy region of space where hydrogen icebergs are thought to form, is far too long. A hydrogen iceberg travels hundreds of millions of miles, millions of years rather, through interstellar space, would have fallen apart, cooked by starlight. Seligman said that the Loebs or whatever his name is, or person's name is, analysis was correct that no hydrogen comet would survive such a long trip. Hydrogen icebergs don't live that long in the galaxy, he said, and you definitely don't have time to get all the way from the nearest giant molecular cloud. But I'll give you the link to it because it does go on a little bit more. And you can see that. So there's got, all three papers. So these people these are peer-reviewed. These are not somebody just throwing crap around. They're literally, really honestly questioning this thing, right? So I find it interesting that they're actually questioning this now. And I said this before. What if this is an actual spacecraft that looks like a giant stone, or supposed to be, hydrogen? And, they didn't want us to detect anything, like a signal coming off it, whatever, so they made it look like it just tumbled. So they just shut everything down and let this thing tumble its way through, but somehow they can literally, control it a little bit without us being privy to what's going on. So this thing just kind of tumbled through and then back out and took off, right? Well, not took off, but it appeared to be just going away from our solar system. And then once it's far enough away, and then it can just take off. So how do we know? We don't know if it's some kind of probe that's going through our solar system to check out stuff. We don't have a clue. But it's cool that they're actually questioning. This is awesome. Noodles, you said we ran into it. More of a buoy, 40 meters by 40 meter refractor telescope. Better optics than any Earth or James Webb telescope rotating means 3D view. Just saying. Well, yeah. And they got these things, super good quality. Of course, every time you see it, it looks like a CGI piece of crap as usual. You never really see like the real deal, right? Now, of course, they're giving this look to this, but I bet, and I'm almost positive somebody sent me photos of this thing, and it actually looks like it has like rectangular pieces on the side and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying it's windows, but it kind of gives you that illusion or this kind of thing in your mind that maybe it's some kind of openings or something in this thing. And, they kind of CGI'd out to look like a rock. Now, I believe it is a stone or some kind of hydrogen, right? But is it something that, again, would an alien civilization do that to just kind of look like a dead stick kind of flying around through the solar systems, and we can just observe everything in this place, take all kinds of readings, and then off we'll go out into that, go in and go back out of that solar system. Is it possible they did that? I don't know. PVE, you said, what inventions do you think Elon Musk is hiding from the public? Well, he may not be hiding it, but he's just not going to say anything, right? I think he's got different propulsions. I think they've worked. Think about it. Here's a guy that's like trying to be on the cutting edge, and he's trying to help the planet and everything else. And we're trying to get another civilization onto Mars as well, right? So to me, it just seems like, he's got to have something better than that. With all this money and people and the scientists working on this stuff, he's got to have better. They've been working on ion drives for a while now. In fact, there was a lot smaller version of this thing that they were talking about years ago. So somebody's perfected this thing by now. And much more efficient. Doesn't need the fuel like we use that we need to get off of Earth. So on and so forth. So, he may have that in there and, of course, whatever technology we have. But it's the drive that's going to make all the difference for being spacefaring, right? Because it's you're either going to go from here to Mars in 7 months, or it's going to be a month and a half. That's a huge difference on how people are going to be able to fare, for that trip. So to me, I think that would be the major big deal. And I think they've had different drives for years now. Pete, you said we're interested in asteroids, but no effort is made to check out the Black Knight satellite close and personal. I believe they have. Again, they're just not going to tell anybody, right? We're all on a need-to-know basis, guys. That's all there is to it. This was sent to me, the National Security Archive, NASA security relationships with NASA, defense, and intelligence agencies. Declassified records trace that many hidden interactions between the U.S. civilian and national security space programs. Secret cooperation punctuated by disputes over budgets, encryption of scientific data, and fallout from the Challenger tragedy. Now, this is posted April 10th, 2015. I forget who sent this to me, but thank you for doing that. And I'll send you, guys, I'll give you the page too. And they're talking about how they could use the space shuttle could be used in so many other different ways. Talking about, NASA's application satellites and national security requirements. I mean, NASA was actually hired to check out different parts of the moon. It was up to them to get the best cameras, all this other stuff. And of course, you can see right here, the STS-1 right there in the lower corner. So yeah, and you see document, this is CIA. And of course, document 2, document 3 is all CIA and all this other stuff. So again, you guys will get the links to that. And of course, we know the DoD is actually controlling NASA. This is what you can show. This is what you cannot. Because, the military or the Department of Defense is saying, listen, we're going to use this for our own need. If there is anything that's, maybe it's something simple like a power supply, whether it's some kind of, not nuclear, but not hydro, or not, maybe it's something they have that they had their own, they used electricity or can create electricity on Mars. Hypothetical and pure speculation. Now, if they could get a hold of such a thing, would it change the Earth? Of course. In other words, it wasn't anything that's going to ruin our atmosphere, and yet it could supply electricity for the world, or each country, or whatever. Could be things like that. It doesn't have to be anything that's got to do with weaponry, right? Could be anything. So, yeah, cool. Now, this one here I've been touching on because we were talking about quantum communications and stuff like that. New ground station brings laser communications closer to reality. Optical communication transmitting data using infrared lasers. Pretty interesting write-up as well. And this is called the OGS-2, the Optical Telescope Dome. And basically it's to get information back and forth. To send, information from, they're trying it from space first, right? And they're trying to actually bounce it too. Like, so in other words, they'll probably maybe hit the ISS and, of course, bounce back. And they're going to try to get all kinds of information because you can get, depending on how you use it, you can get a lot more information through light than you can, at least a higher bit rate compared to radio waves. So, and you guys will get this. Again, I've been talking about this for the longest time. It's like, that doesn't mean the military doesn't already have this. They could be so far ahead compared to, even though they're scientists and stuff like that, it doesn't mean they're not far, ahead of the normal scientists as we know them, right? Who knows? All right. This is the one, supposed to be Ivan Wagner, of Wagner, depending on how you pronounce it. This is on Twitter, and I'll show you this. And this is cool, but I'm not so sure this is the real deal. And I'm on the fence about this. So let me get my face over this here for a second. Let's go up here. I'm going to show you this. This is pretty cool, but you got to keep an eye on right here, almost left of center, because it's weird. It looks like there's like 4 or 5 lights going that come into existence and back out, but it's the one at the end that people are talking about. Is it multiple things, or is it one large thing? Watch this. Now, there's no sound to this, and I'm not going to play it anyway, but just keep an eye on this. You see something right over here, right there. These pieces go in and they come back out. Let me show you that again, right here. Guys, see that? Gonna be right in this spot. Comes in and then goes back out. Okay, so that disappears. Now, near the end is where you're gonna see this coming from the bottom left, and it's gonna be traveling there, and then it just stops abruptly. To me, it looks like one big ship. It's almost like it's cloaked, and you can still see through it, but you can see the edges, the shiny pieces to it. Just watch. It's going to be coming into it. Lower left. Keep an eye on it. There it comes. Right there. Boom. Pretty much stops. Now, to me, it almost looks like it's one big, large ship, because you don't see anything moving, although they can move in formation. But I find it interesting because there it is. Now, is it multiple things? When you see it travel, it looks like just picture an outline of something much larger, and all you see is the very edges of it, right? I thought about that too. Archetype Net, you said looks like debris from a launch. Funny enough, though, you don't see anything kind of scattering in different directions. You don't see anything. You just kind of see it all traveling together. Nothing's speeding up, going faster than the rest of it, or going slower. Watch. Oh, man, I love it when I do that. Watch it. All traveling perfectly together. Nothing's faster, nothing's slower. It almost looks like a very large ship as opposed to... See that? Now, first questions that come to mind is, well, is it bogus? Is it nothing but, just a bunch of trash? Somebody CGI'd that in? I don't know. But interesting to say the least. I thought that was pretty interesting. Let's see. Now, this one here was pretty interesting. Dragonfly Titan and the search for our origins. Now, that itself is just telling me, what are they talking about here? You know, what do you mean, our origins? So they're trying to see, I guess they're trying to see if there's anything that might have started off like we did here on Earth on Titan. Now, this video really gets into it, but unfortunately I can't play it because I don't know if I'm going to get hit with a copyright strike. But this one right here, I don't know if it's got a, what do you call it? I think it does have it. Let me see if it'll show it here. And the guy's like, oh, it's not really that big. And I'm like, are you serious right now? That thing is like huge. There was like a man, there was one guy or two guys standing next to this thing. It wasn't that far. I just went backwards here a little bit just to purposely show you that, but I didn't realize it went back that far. That's okay. I guess it went back quite a bit. But anyway, it's coming up. Right there. Look at the size of this thing. Are you kidding me right now? And that's just the frame. That's not even the rest of the copter. On the back of this thing, on the back here, that's where the nuclear power plant is. And, you know, and then it's got the rest of it. This thing is huge, man. You know, it's like the size of an SUV. All right. We can do this. You guys still got me in there, right? Let me do this. Okay. We're back here. All right, let's see. See if we're still working here. Stream suspended for policy violations. Really? I didn't play any sound. You got to be kidding. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, unbelievable. All right, you guys got me in there now? Yeah, I mean, you know, they're like, oh, it's suspended because of this and that. And it's like, well, are you serious right now? I'm simply playing. All right, you guys got me in there now? I'm simply playing, you know, not even playing the damn audio because I knew this would happen. And this is the crap that happened. Are you serious right now? Yeah, it's too funny. That's why you got to be really careful with these things, you know what I mean? But anyway, so the Dragonfly, you guys will get the link to that because that's cool. Let's see here. I was going to say, I know it didn't take me out. Alien, it's a replica. Now, this one here is a shorter version of the one, that footage there. And this one here is only 40 seconds. But they don't even play what looked like those little ships or something like that, whatever it was over here. But that's the shorter version. The other one's like a minute long. This is only 40 seconds. But that should come out right. That should be coming in right now from left to bottom, from left on the bottom. There it goes. Then boom. Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, they have it. You know, I don't understand it. You know, it's like, you know, whatever happened to freedom of speech? You know, you don't get that anymore. It's just a bunch of crap. you know. This was one I was going to do a video on, guys. So you guys, everybody who's here gets to see this. This is cool. You know, this was actually, let me see if I can do this right. I'll say this. I want to make sure the person's name is correct. This person, Riccardo Tenori, posted in Paradigm Shift on Facebook. And what he did was he posted this, posted a find that showed this. Now, this is interesting. This is composited by Todd. Basically, he put this together, stitched it together. Now, if you've seen this, and tell me the truth, guys, if you see what I'm about to show you, you would say this is clearly, this is clearly intelligently made, and this was some kind of ancient civilization. Before I do that, thank you, Alien. I appreciate that, Alien Tenno. Thank you for your support as always. You said, what did they do to you in the blackout, Chris? Oh, basically, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it said basically it was because it's almost like a copyright, so they suspended it. So until I stopped it, then they went, okay, now we can go ahead. I mean, it's insane. Usually if you play a video, meaning audio, maybe because I hit that button by accident, you can hear the audio for like a split second. And maybe that's why they suspended it. And then it went back to normal. So I wasn't trying to do that. I was trying to, hurry up and shut that off. And I didn't get to it quick enough. So, yeah, it is what it is, they got rules and regulations. You got to follow them. That's all there is to it. So I get that. Anyway, no big deal. So let's zoom into this one part. And between these rocks, watch this. Let me see if I can get in here. Where did it go? Here, right here. Check this out. Look at this rock right here in the center between these rocks. Look at this interlocking block. Got a line, comes up, it's got the center of the block, it raises up and then back down and goes around. Interlocking blocks. Now, if I seen that anywhere on Earth, automatically I'd say, okay, this is an ancient civilization built this interlocking block, whatever this thing may be. There's no way on Earth or Mars that this is natural. There's no way. I'll let you guys eyeball that. What do you think? Look at the way that rock is. And like I said, the cursor is kind of small. I know you guys have asked me about this cursor. Here's the thing. On this particular, let me see here. See, I'm using like a Streamlabs, and you cannot get this thing to make the cursor bigger. I can do this on my regular page. I can make this thing as large as I want, but when I'm recording with this, for some reason, it will not do that. I'm still looking for a solution for it. That's the problem. It sucks. Exactly, Alien Tenno, like Machu Picchu. All of these stones that were melted together or perfectly blocked and edged out and cornered out and everything else to lock these blocks and put them together like a puzzle. This has this weird locking block to it. Now, to me, that doesn't look, what do you call it? That doesn't look natural. So a big thank you to Ricardo for that. It's just crazy. I mean, in fact, I think I've got, let me see if I can find this thing. He has, this is his picture here. So again, he gets full credit for this. I don't. There it is. I mean, what the hell? Look at the interlocking block. There's no way that thing is natural. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. And I think you guys would agree. Now, we've got things like this here. These people have built the same blocks. They use them as structures. And you can see this, simplest modification, blah, 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 blah. And it's cool that they're doing this because, and you can see right here, these blocks here we're all familiar with. But these all interlocked at one time. But look at these blocks interlocking like we're seeing here on the bottom here. Here's a closer version. Again, his version, not mine. Oh, you can disagree, search and destroy. That's fine. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. It could, but you're not going to have an interlocking block like that. Not in nature. I understand they could, rocks can be made, they can have corners, 90-degree angles, all kinds of stuff. I totally agree on that. But when you have this interlocking block, here's the weird thing. And I don't believe these are rocks anyway. I believe that they're modified, and I'm going to show you something else in here that they've done to this, and you'll agree. Is that look at the rocks all around this, supposed rocks and boulders and hills and whatever else, and yet you got this interlocking block in the back of it. How is that possible? you would think most of that would be all of the same kind of erosion, whether it be air, water, whatever, right? There's no way, at least in my opinion. I'm not saying everybody has to agree with that. Third eye open. What's going on, man? I didn't see you jumping there. You said, yep, not natural. Let me see. Noodles said, to draw a line from top to bottom, it could be a stitch line. Well, not on this particular one, because that would have to be this way. There is an actual, there's right there, you can see a stitch line going like this, right here. Let me see if I can't bring it way up. And you'll see exactly, right there. There's actually a stitch line doing this, but there is not one going horizontal. You can see that stitch line vertical. That's it. But look at the actual block and locking, the way it's doing that. I find it hard to believe, like I said, on the two rocks on the side of it, that thing happens to be, you know, just sticking out like that. Now, let me show you something. I've done this photo, and I've done a video on it a while back. Let me show you this. Again, well, let's put it this way. Well, why is this phone like this? Let's look at this. This is pretty interesting. Let me get rid of myself here. You guys asked me to put the photo myself bigger in here, but when coming to these, I want you guys to be able to see the whole pan. Now, we can see by judging this rock is overhanging. These look almost like high noon. If you look at the rocks, right, it's got a little bit of a shadow on one side, right? We can see that. Like this one here. I don't believe that's a rock, but let's say it is. You get the shadow. It's, if we had to guess, what would you guys think? 1, 2 o'clock? If it was here on Earth? Roughly around there? Maybe you guys disagree. Maybe it's a different time you guys think. But to me, here's the deal. I'm going to show you this other rock. Let's bounce onto this side here real quick. Again, anybody who's been watching my videos would know exactly what this is. You got this piece sticking out right here. Look at this. What the hell is that? But anyway, so we're looking at these rocks, and you can see, let's see, overhang here. You can see these rocks overhanging, and you can see the shadows are really not, like, here's the bottom one. Look at all those jagged rocks or whatever. So it's almost high noon, maybe 1, 2 o'clock, I'm guessing. I'm just guessing here, rough guesstimate. Now check this out. Under the slab, and I don't believe it's a slab at all, you can see like these blocks type thing right here. Or it's these separation. Okay. Underneath this part here, in the middle, we can see it looks like shadowing. And I would totally agree with you, right? Now, let's zoom in. What is going on here? Why do we have this brown area that's been taken out? Look at this. You can see there's a white piece sitting right underneath here. Just a part of it right here. And there's another couple little specks of it right here. Now, keep in mind, this is a shadowed area under this rock. Now, pay close attention if you can. I'm going to put it in the middle of the screen. This white piece, check it out. Goes up, has this little bit of a hump to it, comes to the end, very little bit of white. But look, it actually goes down through this manipulation. This is not real. This has actually been taken out. Look at the edge. Right there. Goes like this, and then drops down behind this other so-called rock. But there's something white sitting right here, and they tried to black it completely out, but they did not. See that? Something's there, and it's a whiter color. One right there, a little bit right there. I don't care about this part. It looks like part of the rock, we'll call it. But this here, no. You see, I can't zoom in a little bit more. You can see the edge right here where they've actually taken this right out, and it keeps going over to here until it drops right down here. And, of course, we got our stitch lines. There's one here, one going vertical, one going horizontal. But look at this. Look at the, pay close attention. There's a line going just like this, underneath or behind this manipulation. You guys see that? Dr. Z. Smith, you said too many coincidences with man-made looking structures, ruins on Mars. Any reasonable person may come to the same conclusion. So when you see this kind of stuff, again, got to pay close attention. Now, the other thing I want to address, too, is these little things you see right here. People are saying, well, you know, is it possible, you know, what's flying there, stuff like that. What I want you guys to understand, this is an artifact, okay? This right here is part of it. Like, you might say, well, what do you mean? It's like, well, one right there, one right there. Now, keep an eye on that shape, because guess what? Let's go up a little further, up here, and there they are again. Of course, the other one is a little bit lower, so you may not see that one, but there it is. Zoom back out a little bit. You should see one another here. Now you can see the other one on the left. And check it out. So it's an artifact in these pictures. That's what we're seeing. There's another section right there. So they're not anything flying. Now, have done videos where it actually looked like something flying because there was an actual blur, like a motion blur, whether it be on the right-hand side of this thing, on the left-hand side, whatever it may be, it appeared to be moving. Well, these are artifacts. These, here again, but the other one's behind here. So we don't know if this is built up, this so-called rock, layered rock, whatever it may be, and that's why it's suddenly hiding that other piece. Another one here. But again, if you look at them, they're all the same thing, right? Again, here. So what you're seeing is if I back out, you can see them right there, right? 1, 2, just go 3, 4, 5. One way up here, 6. And like I said, you could find them in the photos. It's just an artifact, just so you guys know. Phantom Rider, he said, hi, Chris. What's going on, Phantom Rider? Cords Grolt, what's going on? That's just staying on hydro isolation. Yeah, to me, this is interesting because, like I said, especially this rock over here, that's a locking block. And like I said, when you have all of this mess here, like, again, it's kind of like an ancient waterbed, right? You expect to see water erosion, smooth rocks. If somebody was to take a real jagged one and throw it right there in the bottom, then clearly that wasn't there during the ocean. Or at least you wouldn't think so. Or a river where it ran and just the water eroded it, right? So, and that's what I find interesting. So, when you see stuff like that, you go, okay, why does that one particular part stand out so much, though? And that's the whole key, right? And there's another thing in here which looks weird. Is I've seen this in 2 photos. I've seen it in this one here. It doesn't look like much. But another thing, it looked like something white and mechanical. Like, here's a perfect example right there. Hiding right between here. Now, this could be light coming through the rocks, right? You don't know if that's coming up through here, which could be. Although if there's a slab directly above, and we see the sunshine. Now, if it's coming a little bit through this angle, that could very well be sunshine coming through there. And I would agree. Now, I've seen another photo that I've done this in, and it looked like it was something round and something more metallic. Hard to tell. I'm going to go with the sunshine thing because that's what it looks like to me, right? In fact, you can see the edge of it right here. Now, I don't know if you guys agree or not, but that kind of looks like light coming through the other side, right? ArchetypeNet, you said I've noted or noticed those exact same artifacts in other Sol images. Maybe something on the lens. It is. It's either something on the lens or there's an actual artifact wrong with the actual lens itself, right? Either way, I wanted to tell people because some people will think, oh, wow, there's actually something there. It's flying in the air, and it's not. In fact, you can see like right here, right? But even these, look at the way these weird rocks are. It looks like it's got this piece sticking out, and there's another one right here. Look at this, something round right here. A lot of these things, and I've showed you guys have seen this yourselves, where everything looks like a rock until you really start to analyze it. And all of a sudden, things come out of nowhere, like just pieces like hanging out of a rock, or something that just doesn't belong there, right? And there's something way over here. This could also be sunshine coming through here, but I find it pretty interesting. Let me see if I can find this again. Right under here. This could very well be light, although this almost looks solid at the top, but we can't see through the top, so we don't know if that is sunlight or not. It appears to be, because we can see light coming through the cracks of this rock, and then, of course, it's coming down like this. These here, when you see these here, it's like a heated pixel. Now, you'll get that a lot, which is really funny because they say once the components of the camera heat up, you'll get these little colored artifacts or just artifacts in the actual photo. Wait a minute, I thought it was a cold planet. But no, it can actually get up to 70 to 100 degrees in the shade on Mars. So, yeah, it does get quite warm. I love that rock. Colleen Barnes, how are you? You said, hi everyone, happy Friday. The last gig of Pan from your Aussie friend was great. Yeah, I mean, great eye with them guys, and yeah, they pulled out that was awesome. Total props to them for doing that. Kind of like this one here we're looking at, where we have the interlocking block type thing, and I find it really interesting. Again with this totally different rocks, different texture, and we have something that looks like a locking block. But I actually enhanced this a little bit, and it actually looks like there's more to it than that. Like, for example, this rock here. Look at this really carefully. You can see what looks like there's layers of it. I get that. But when this is enhanced and you bring up more of the dark areas, it almost looks like if there were miniature like structures on top of each of these like layers going down. Now, to me, this does look like a rock. It looks like a layered rock, but I'm like, is that what that is? Look at this. Here's a perfect example. Look at the way these things, look at the texture of this, the way it's running. These, to me, and they've always have been, manipulated. They're not real what you're seeing. Like I said, why would they go out of their way to, like, take this out? It looks like a number 2 right there on the top of this block, now that I look at it. But it looks like an F right there, F2. Oh, there you go. Everybody hit F2 on their computer. No. But anyway, you got this locking, and that's when I seen, I was like, what? Out of the rocks on the side of it? No, you just got this. No. Like I said, any archaeologist seen this, and if I showed it to him and I said, oh, by the way, look at this right here. What do you think of that? Oh, it looks like ancient civilization. Oh, wait, by the way, that's Mars. Oh, no, that's pareidolia then. Oh, imagine that. Imagine that. Oh, yeah, you're right about that, Alien Tenor. So most people don't realize that layered rock has we're seeing on these pics means only one thing, water. Well, again, they can also change these rocks, too. Like I said, years ago, somebody had told me when I started doing these, it's like, you're on the right path, man. He said that they're using what they call a rock mimicking software. And I've showed many, many a times. A lot of people disagree with this, but it doesn't matter. It's in the pudding, man. The proof is in the pudding. You can literally see things that are sticking out of rocks that shouldn't be there. Look at this shape. Now, that could be weather torn, you know what I mean, and worn out. But just funky shape. Pretty cool. But, at first I thought it was bogus, right? Because I was looking at it and saying, why would this white piece or straight piece be sticking out of this rock? And then the more I looked at it, I said, guys, this doesn't make any sense. And the guy confirmed what I was saying. He goes, and then I tried to write back to him, can you give me more information? Mail got returned to me. I couldn't send it to him again. So, not sure what that was all about. Now, we do have this white spot here. Now, that could be anything from a hot pixel to one of the moons. You know what I mean? One of the 2 moons that are orbiting Mars. But you can always tell one of these lights, there's usually like a line running down them. I'm not sure I could see that one. I don't know if it's usually right there, and you see it. Usually it's a colored one, and you'll see like a line coming down. That's how you can tell it's like a burnt pixel. It'll do that. Yeah, Noodles, it could be Phobos and what is it? Deimos or Deimos, a lot of people claim, depending on how you pronounce it. Could be either or. But to me, it's like, when you see that, like, again, these are just artifacts. You can see 1-1. But sometimes you see these colored ones where they're like a purplish, weird kind of color, and you see a line running straight down. I almost can see it right there. Right there, running straight up. into that one. So chances are it's a burnt pixel, and that's what you're seeing. Just so you guys can, it helps you recognize these better. Look at this, like this nice straight piece coming straight out of this right here. Of course, it doesn't really mean much, but that's just kind of odd how it's completely straight. Again, these bumpy, rocky rocks, so to speak, and yet nice straight line. Gotta look into these. Like I said, once in a while I get those people that come through and they'll be like, oh, it's rocks. What the heck's this guy seeing? Because they're not taking the time to stop and study them. Now, I would agree, this looks like totally like a rock. I mean, okay. I'm not disagreeing with that. Rock. I mean, but like I said, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's just plenty of these things. Just, see, there we go. Here's a burnt pixel right here. Perfect example. See it? Be careful of those. It's not anything. It's just probably again a burnt pixel. Now, how do you have this rock right here but have this white piece? Like they totally forgot to take that out. See that? I don't know. Now, this is sun, because you can see sun right here, but you can see it right there. Down here, it's totally in the shade, but yet you get this white piece. There's another one there. Well, we can hear the thunder going crazy out there. Thunder and lightning out. That's a funky looking rock too. Yeah, it's going to rain like crazy tomorrow. We're supposed to get about 2 to 3 inches of rain. Oh yeah, and then it's going to get windy tomorrow afternoon. Oh yeah. Lee Herring, you said check out Neville's, a gigapan. There are a lot of stuff in it. Looks like a city off to the right and the top of the hill. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's what I love about gigapans. Now, one guy said to me, well, you don't like to look at regular photos. Absolutely. I like photos, but I like the gigapans because, again, you can see what it's next to. Maybe you can get a sense of size or distance from the camera, but there's no way of knowing this. I mean, I can back out of this. Have no idea how big that is. This could be just, literally, these could be only inches in width. We don't know. We have no idea. Because this could be zoomed in from far away, and we think, oh, wow, it's all just a tiny little hill. And that doesn't mean that at all. There was something else in here. I'm trying to remember if it was this one here. Look at this rock. What? Now we got right here, a stitch line here. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Look at the pieces on top of this so-called flat rock. Look at this. Look at the shape of this thing. Put it right there in the middle of the screen. Look at the shapes on top of this. Now, is it possible it got weathered like that? Yes. George Mayer, what's going on? You said a lot of false sand, Chris. Oh yeah, it's they use that to just put over anything they want to, right? Check out this piece right here. Okay, is that natural? Hey, look, a little creature. And believe it or not, it could very well be. We don't know. We're just looking at it, right? It could very well be. Yeah, Dave, we're about to get hammered too there this tonight and right in through tomorrow, and like I said it'll be windy here. But I got the my deck nice and closed off so I can sit out there. I don't care if it's windy, raining like cats and dogs, don't matter to me. I can still sit out there, eat a meal, just chill out. Gotta love it. You see something just like right there. You can see where it's actually a straight piece. But look at you can literally see this texture. Look at this. Notice the line. And going up like this here, and look at the little, what look like holes in different texture right on a very small edge. See that? But look at the actual line of blurring that literally took that out. Yeah, I learned a long time ago this stuff is not rocks. I'm not saying none of it's rocks because that'd be total lying, right? But I believe a lot of this. There was something else in this photo, and I can't remember where it was at. I think it was down here. Hold on. It was interesting. It may not be this photo at all. See if I can find it was over here, maybe. Now, I've been looking at a lot of photos lately, so it's probably not in this one either. But pretty cool. I'm going to try not to go too fast. You guys don't have to take out the drama mean. Oh, I'm getting dizzy. I want to puke. Oh, we don't want to do that to you. Yeah, it might have been in the other photo I was looking at, which is fine. Because if anything, it'll be in a video coming up soon. Yeah, it wasn't this one here. Okay. But, what do you guys think? Like I said, I see this and, like, right off the bat, yeah. Well, what does this do? I thought this was kind of weird. Look at the way these things are separated here. See that? You see something's real straight under it, and then you get this other piece that's going upward. See that? Going across. Kind of interesting. Well, like I said, out of just natural-looking rocks, and all of a sudden, bam, you see that. I'm also seeing here, I don't know if you guys see this too, right here. Almost looks like a rectangular piece going like this. It's right at the very edge of it. You see the sun on it, but then you can see it very faintly. It looks like a line going across on the top and on the bottom of that brighted area. See that? Like there's more cuts in this rock than what we're seeing, right? GFM Nelson, you said, if it's fake, why? Why wouldn't they just be like, look, looks like there was once a civilization here. All I can say is read the Brookings report. I mean, NASA came up with that before the Apollo missions, and basically saying how people would react if they knew there was other life forms out there, which I find really interesting. But that's the best way to explain it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, everybody here is frustrated. They'd rather see them say, man, just do the damn, just tell the truth and get it out. What's the big deal? Like I said, back in the 60s, people probably would have freaked out, but now it's almost like they're waiting for it. Hudson Crouch, you said carvings? Yeah, I believe there is a lot of carvings. I actually enhanced this so-called rock, and it looked like other pieces, and like right here, there's a piece that literally pop out a little bit more, and it looks like there's more carvings on this rock here, this bottom rock, right? I think this is awesome. I think that's a great find, because you can literally see that. And like I said, out of these rocks here, and it looks completely natural, this does not. You got that right, Pete. You said you don't want us to connect the dots. You're pretty much right. Yeah, look at our Brookings report, GOF. Yeah, I mean, they pretty much basically saying how would the public react? Is it part of, would there be a total social breakdown? What would that imply? Would it screw with people's religious beliefs? So on and so forth. And that's basically what they're saying. But again, this was back in the 60s they come out with this. Today, I don't think people would be freaked out. I really don't. Jack DeVille, what's going on? He said, I'm surprised that the government does not redact the photos with big black boxes. Well, I've done that too. Oh, they claim, it's just, there just was no particular data for that part of the photo. It's like, really? So all of it came out, but that particular part didn't. Now, it's a very good possibility if it just didn't happen to get that piece. That's a possibility, but yeah. Bobby Pentley, you said NASA is hiding life on Mars. I believe they're hiding life on a number of places, whether it be moons or Mars itself, right? like I said, when you see things like these, I mean, you can see what looks pretty much what we're seeing here, that block. So I think it's pretty interesting. This one here is from Pumapunku. You see that where these things literally would lock right into other blocks. So again, if we've seen this, if we've seen that and we've done that here on Earth and there was life on Mars, why could they not do the same? And incidentally, I mean, when you look at these rocks, these blocks here, and they lock together, and here's the thing. You see them now, there's still a lot of sharp edges. How long has it been there? So if they were that sharp now, and there's a lot of sharp edges, and they got a lot of recessed carvings in these things too, what did they look like when they were like brand new and freshly cut? That's why a lot of them say it's not done by tools, it's done by laser cutting or really sophisticated tools, one of the two, right? So just the fact that, you know, you see that and then, you know, this here, to me it's just, I don't know. It just screams intelligently made again. At least for me it does. Corey, back then the people fainted over the Blob movie. LOL, I think we've grown up since then. Pretty much. Well, I don't know, though. If you watch the second Blob movie, the one that was newer, when was that? Just late 90s? Or during the 90s? That damn thing growled and everything. Like, what is that? Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Didn't the first one, guys, refresh my memory. Didn't the first one, it was like this old can of tomato paste or something like that? And when he slammed it on the table, this is the original one, he slammed it on the table, the thing, boop, it popped open and came out and started running down there and ate that kitten or whatever it was. Now, the second one actually crashed to Earth. Do I remember that correctly, or am I, like, not remembering that correctly? What do you guys think? James Gregan, you said, Chris, I think we should be able to make our own decisions on how we would react. No group should be able to dictate our lives. Sick crap of that, man. I'm sick of that. Excuse my language. Well, and it's true, though. I totally agree with you, man. Totally agree with you. Yeah. Well, yeah, back in the day when they had War of the Worlds, yeah, people were literally jumping out of windows, killing themselves, and, oh, my God, we're going to die. Which I don't think that's the last thing I would have done. The last thing I would have done was go, you know, I wouldn't kill myself. That's not the first thing that would come to my mind. It would be like, is there any way I can hide underground? Or, you know, you don't jump out of a building. You know, I try to get away from that. But, you know, people reacted like that back then. You know, they said it wasn't the issue that people were listening and doing that. What it was is that when they turned it on, some of these people turned it on late, and all you hear is sirens and everything. Oh, we're being invaded. They're killing us. You hear all kinds of sound effects, and you know, we're being, you know, they're blowing up towns and cities, and people panicked. So yeah. Phantom Rider, you see that too, right? Get it? See that too? Right there, right in the middle of the screen. And there's some other pieces. 1, 2. Not sure what that is. Well, yeah, I don't know. Don't know. Was it from the 80s? I thought it was the late 80s then, Badur M. But yeah, that one actually growled. Remember that? It was like, I'm trying to remember, there was like one part where they were screaming or something like that in one of the rooms, and they go in there, and this thing's literally stuck to the ceiling, and it's got one of the people that were in the building, and it literally, you know, it was basically digesting him. It was, help me, and it was up on the, oh my God, it was silly as hell. This thing growled and everything. It had an attitude and a half. It was pretty funny. Good movie, though. Good special effects, but yeah. It was just crazy. Yeah, Colleen Bonds. If people are that stupid, that is their uneducated problem. I want to know what we are dealing with. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. You know, I'm the same way. To me, it's just like, you know, if somebody brings something new to you, right? Like this other person, I forget what their name was, but you know, they were asking, you know, why wouldn't they just announce basically, you there was life on another planet. Well, if you read the Brookings report, it's like they're just worried about people's reaction. If you broke it to the public piece by piece, and it doesn't have to be like right away, like, yeah, there's a civilization on Mars. No, very slowly. Wait a minute, we found what looks like microbial life. Maybe it was, and I think they're going to do this, like I said, that's my prediction. Whether it be, fossilized, and then, of course, they're going to see, oh, wait a minute, there's, now we're finding microbial life. Oh, and we're finding life. And then it's going to be like a little bit of, organics on the planet. It might be like I said, a Martian moss or something like that. They're going to, oh, my God, there's something there. They'll build up slowly. Now, whether they'll ever say, by the way, there was a civilization on Mars, that might take some time. Now, they might say, they might play that card later on where they have another lander, or that particular one, they're going to say, oh, yeah, we rounded this corner, and guess what we found? Wow, but they'll already have to have you desensitized to the fact, one, there was like simple life, microbial, then macro, and build up to it so you go, oh my God, wow, that's cool. In other words, you won't be shocked. It won't be no big deal. And that's the whole key. Marcus Peters, you said, good morning, Chris. Good morning there, Marcus. Good to have you in there. I think it'll get that way, Noodles. What do you think? Do you think they're going to work their way up to it, or do you think they're just going to go, just not say anything? What do you guys think? Think they'll work it up? See, we're getting a slow drip already? Or do you think that they're just going to say, and they're never going to tell us, or they're just going to pop it on everybody all at once? All right, Mimi, good seeing you. Thanks for being in here. You said it's late here. Thank you for live streaming, Chris. Good night, everyone. Sleep well and stay safe. Good night. Mimi, you have yourself, you and the family have yourself a good night there and a good weekend there, right? Thanks for stopping in, as always. And thanks for your support. Yeah, Corge, we're going to have, like I said, as soon as this thing goes on there, I'm going to go ahead and put all the links to all of these so you guys can check these out yourselves, and just really have a good look at these. Because these are cool, man. I mean, you've got to be able to see these. And like I said, a lot of people, I'm sure you guys have done this yourselves. When you first saw the videos, it doesn't have to be mine. It could be anybody's. And you're looking at it, you're going, what the hell is this guy talking about? They're just rocks, man. It's nothing more than rocks. But then as we got, like I said, time and time again, I would get into it real close, and you see something white sticking in it. It looks like a flat piece of steel at 90-degree angles sticking out of a complete rock. And you're going, okay, well, that was just one time. Maybe it's just a fluke. Well, then we look at something else, and then something else. And like I said, something that's hidden under, supposedly in the shade of a flat rock. You go, oh, look at that shaded under it. But then when you get closer, what's this white piece? And why can you see like the edge of it coming through this manipulation? You can clearly see this manipulation right there, this line. And then you can see it dive off right here, right behind this other rock. Right there, you can see the fine line. A couple other white little pieces right there. Comes over here, right to here. This white piece goes like this. You can see the line of it coming down, going like this, and it bulges out again. So whatever this thing is, it's like this kind of a bulge at the top, goes down straight down in the back, and you can see it bulges out in the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I can see that pretty darn good here. Ernest Hines Jr. said, hello, Chris. Great discussion as usual. Well, thank you, Ernest, and thank you for being here. Well, that's true, too, Mars Time. You said, I bet disclosure would win an election. That could very well be, too. Think about it. I mean, you just have to look around, Look at this right here. That's kind of weird. It's like the way the shadowing is on this. It's got like this kind of rounded edge to it, but yet there's a nice straight shadow right there. I can tell people, everything is not as it seems at times. Sometimes just crazy stuff in these photos. And I always questioned it. I said, listen, if it's raw photos, straight from a camera, transmitted to Earth, they then give it to the public, why is there any censoring at all in these photos? Let's suppose we're entirely wrong. There's nothing intelligently made on this planet. Okay. Why the censoring? It simply doesn't make sense. I don't care if you're hiding organics, like it could be grass, shrubs, whatever the hell it may be. Why would you censor a photo if there's nothing there to see? It's like I use the analogy, a simple analogy, like if I'm selling my car and I don't want you to see my license plate, I'm going to put a blur on it. I'm censoring that photo for a reason. I do not want you to see it. Okay. Why are they doing it here in these photos? And I've showed time and time again that they're manipulating these photos. It's really not rocket science anymore. Excuse me. Bobby Pentland, thank you very much for your support as always. I do appreciate you. I love the little, what is that, a laughing pear? That's pretty cool. But again, thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you. Let's see. Elaine, you said, I think, as you said, it would be a slow drip. They may announce microbial life after Perseverance lands. That way NASA would get a boatload of funding. Think about it, yeah. Because if you keep... And listen, you guys have heard this before. Let me go like this. Let me just go ahead and... Scare the hell out of you guys again. Put my face back on. But here's the thing. You guys have heard this before. They literally said, we're confident we're going to find life. Really? Because they already know there's life there, guys. That's the only way you can think about it. Why else would they do that? Because they're confident. They're saying, oh, yeah, so this way it's prepping the people for this so people won't be surprised. Like, oh, my God. But they're saying, no, they're not. They're confident. Why would they be suddenly so confident? What do they know that we don't? Because all along they've been seeing this life on this planet. Now it's time to announce it. Let's announce it slowly. Let's seep it out. Let's get it out. And they're working it out. That's what they're doing. At least in my opinion, that's what they're doing. James, you said, Chris, do you ever think about what NASA and the Black Ops military cartel would say if by chance there was a craft from space, etc., crashed and was witnessed by too many people to be denied? What do you think? Well, they'd have to come out with it, right? There's just no way around it. You know, that's why they said, well, it might take a UFO to land on the White House lawn for people to go, oh, finally, you know, and finally come out in the open. Because they're not willing to, come forth with it. So if something like that happened, there's no denying it after that. They'd literally have to spill the beans. But yeah, I mean, they'll deny the hell out of it. They don't care. That's just the way they are. But you know, like I said, I've seen, and I've showed this on a lot of moon photos, that there are crash craft or stuff that's been laying on the surface for who knows how many years. Literally, it looks like storage containers just literally sitting there, or things on their sides. Just crazy things that should not be on the moon, and yet we're seeing it. And, you know, we've seen crazy things on Mars that doesn't look natural. What's it doing there? It defies logic when you think about what NASA's telling the public and then what we're seeing. Something doesn't make sense. Why so many discrepancies? What's going on, Robert? And I'm not even going to try to say your last name because I'm afraid I'll botch it up. But you said hello from Poland, Chris. Well, hello, Robert. Good to see you in there. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Pete, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't care that there's different rocks in the photo too, right? I'm sure you don't care. But you said rocks have different textures throughout the photo, and that's true. What gives? It doesn't make any sense. Noodles. UFO on the White House lawn? Pepper spray first. Could be Antifa. Oh, man. Phil Cox, good to see you in there. Phil Cox with daughters Jessica and Kelsey Brown. Hi, Chris. Hi, everyone. Fell asleep earlier and just woke up. Man. And you're usually on top of that. But good to see you in anyway there, Phil. Good to see you. Jack DeVille, Keckburg, Pennsylvania. What's going on? Yep. I agree with you, Noodles. You said John Ward's videos tell of a lost culture indeed. Yeah, because, again, he's looking at the satellite views, and you're seeing what look like blocks, very large blocks at that. where you see round ones on top of square ones and so on and so forth. Look like megalithic kind of structures, right? It looks like they collapsed. Like there was a force that collapsed them. It's as simple as that. Oops. Let's do this. Let's bring it way back down. We had this really zoomed in. All right. Bam. Noodles. 133 strong. Well, Mars Anomalies and Beyond has a subscribe button. Yeah, that's right, guys. Hit that subscribe. Subscribe and hit that notification bell if you're new to the channel. All for free. Awesome deal. Ask Chris questions by Super Chat. I got to press like 8 times a day. Yeah, if you guys haven't hit that thumbs up button, please do so. Dave, I like that. Oh no, could you imagine Daft Donald having to meet an alien delegation? They realized there was no intelligent life on Mars. I mean, on Earth, rather. Well, no, the funny part would be like, hey, you mind if I buy that off you? Off their spacecraft or something, right? Mr. Gosma, thank you very much for your support, sir. I do appreciate that. You said, hope you are well, Chris. Still making great vids. Well, thank you. I'm trying to get more of this out. Like I said, I do have a couple moon ones out. I wanted to get one out today. Actually, it was yesterday I wanted to get it out, but been busy, and I was going to do it again today. But I said, well, I'm going to try to beat the rain. And, of course, that didn't happen. I was able to get out there and do a little weed eating, and then, of course, I had to come inside here. And I wanted to get this jump on this. So I was like, put this stuff away for now. But, of course, it's on off showers, getting the remnants of, Laura there. So, yeah, awesome. Be a nice Sunday, though. That's a plus. Dale Rogers said, right, in Arizona or New Mexico, quartz is with quartz and sandstone is with sandstone. Well, that's what you would expect, right? That's what I'm saying. When you see something like these two rocks, okay, totally different. I mean, there's no consistency to these rocks at all. Super smooth, okay, like basically like a layered rock. You have jagged and then super smooth boulders. And then, of course, you get this in the middle. It's just... That's how you know that these are not consistent, and they're not being consistent in their lies. They're just not. At least I don't think so. Dustin Martin, what's up, Chris? You talked to Billy Carson lately. We'd love to see another show with you, too. Yeah, I actually have. It was about a week ago, and he's still talking about coming up here, and we're going to do a video of the Black Knight. So I got enough information about that. I've done videos on that too. You can look it up here on the channel. I've done that. Excuse me. And we're gonna do like he's got an upcoming movie about the Black Knight, so we're gonna go ahead and share some information with him and get that done. I think he went to do that in September. He went to come up here. TFV, you said Dr. Z, you're talking to Dr. Z, of course, and it's all about the Benjamins to them. What would happen if the world's monetary systems vanished tomorrow? Yeah, exactly. It's like, boom. Tony Gibbs, yeah, that's a good one. He said, best entertainment bar none, education as well. Appreciate that there is intelligent life on this planet. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Noodles, Laura's gonna just like take basically a big whiz on us there. We're supposed to get like a couple inches of rain, maybe 2 to 3, depending on where you live. So that's always fun. That's just awesome. I don't care. I don't even mind the rain. Doesn't bother me. That's why you try to get it done before the rain so you can just chill. Robert, you said, I'm pretty sure that they're going to tell us more soon because there is too many people like you showing the truth. But as you said, they will reveal it bit by bit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why they would feel that, again, people can't handle it. Of course they can do it now. This day and age, sure. All day long, man. I don't get it. Bobby, yeah, that's pretty good. Thought it was ZZ Top on that rock. I knew those guys were from somewhere else. Oh, I know. I love the band itself because what is it? Ironically, was it the drummer? Every one of them had beards but him, and I think his last name was Beard, wasn't it? It was something weird like that. It was pretty funny. Great band though. Robert Hart, yeah, I believe you're right. You said the U.S. Navy versus Tic Tac UAP seems like first step towards disclosure. Oh yeah, yeah. It's coming there. It's like they're trying to hit it from all edges, right? Like UFOs or unidentified aerial phenomenon, like you said, UAP. And like they're trying to attack it on all sides really slowly, so that it can kind of converge into like, yeah, by the way, we're not alone. I mean, that's what it comes down to, right? Wing Chun, you said those are blown up structures. You can see most of the debris in cement. Or cement, rather. Yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of it is being dressed to look like rocks. Again, I mean, when I look at this piece of trash right here, come on. Look at that. That doesn't even look remotely real. It's like you get striation to rock this way and then it's going up like that. I mean, come on. Too much BS. Like I said, I'm not saying there's no rock here at all. Of course there is. Common sense. But no, I think a lot of this stuff, when you look back, it's like structures built into these, or the whole darn thing, these mounds are actually a structure. Maybe they're built into these hills, and maybe that's what keeps them insulated from the radiation or the heat. What better insulator is sand, or, we're going to call it earth, but it's basically, ground. What better way to insulate yourself from radiation or different temperature swings than sand or living underground? James, you said Chris watched a video about the moon, and it was spot on in regards to the size compared to the rest of the moons in our solar system and the distance from Earth and the sun. Too many coincidences. Yeah, I mean, because it's like the biggest moon in the solar system in comparison with its basically its body, it's orbiting, right? Compared to any other planet and its moon, and the way it can actually cover, basically take the sun completely out in a total eclipse. I mean, there's so many coincidences that it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, Blue Sunset, I think you're right there. He said they would have to hand out masks on the White House lawn if they landed and came out of their craft. Yeah, because we'd probably kill them off anyway, one way or the other, right? Win Chun, you said NASA doesn't want to reveal the cities we and the Martian humans made on Mars. We had ongoing missions to Mars. Most Martians lived underground because 8,200 years ago, there was a war between two powerful aliens. Well, I mean, I know a lot of ancient civilizations actually talk about this text in there where they were actually using Mars as supposedly in their writings. They were talking about how they were taking resources off the planet, and they would use it as a stop and over the stuff like that. And they were using the moon as a stopover. And they had some kind of warring going on with them. How true that is, I don't know. But it just seems weird that ancient civilizations would come out with that stuff. I mean, again, was there sci-fi writers back in the day, even though they had no technology whatsoever? I mean, how did they drum this up? Makes you wonder, though. Dr. Z. Smith, he said, Chris, your opinion. Did a war or a natural event kill Mars? It may have been a combination of things. Either before or after the nuclear explosions. I think it might have killed off most of the population, but there's other things at play as well, right? To have just about every drop of water off that planet, it's completely, it's supposed to be like a desert. But we all know that's not true, and they've even said that there's a water cycle in Gale Crater. There's the temperatures get up pretty warm. Basically, you and I could walk on that planet because you're low enough to the ground. You get enough oxygen closer to the ground. There's water in the sand. We get water cycles. We have, it's basically like Earth. The only difference is it's got wild temperature swings, but it does get quite hot. They'll say that. Read the articles. They'll say it gets quite warm there, and of course it gets really cold. There's not enough clouds or atmosphere to stop the radiation from cooling during the day. So once it gets towards dusk, the temperature drops like a rock. And then in the morning, it does the same thing. The temperature comes up rather quickly. So now are they quite, what's the word I want to use? Is it quite that drastic like they're saying? I'm not so sure that it is. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I don't think it's quite as drastic. And I think there's more of an atmosphere than they're claiming. Which one are you talking about, Elaine? You said lava tubes. Read the article, Chris. Which one are you talking about? Yeah, if you're going to talk stupid there, John Clark. If you're not smart enough to see these different rocks, I'm not talking about these in particular. If you're not smart enough to see these things, don't come off like, everybody's a retard. I'm just not going to have it. He said, what the F are you talking about, mate? Apparently you haven't been watching the channel long enough to actually understand that. So, I just, your history. It's ignorance like that kind of rubs me the wrong way. People come to the channel and they don't have any idea what they're talking about. They automatically go, well, he's looking at rocks. What the hell else could he be talking about? Well, I don't know about you, but like I said, that's an interlocking rock there. And if you believe that's natural, you may want to check yourself. That's all I can say. There we go. I was going to say, why isn't this backing out? Let's see. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. The lava tubes on Mars. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, when we see things like these here, now a lot of them will say, well, some of the science papers will say, well, a lot of these were created by, obviously, water wearing it down, wind erosion. Some of these, because basically they're supposed to be in a large lake area that used to be in Gale Crater, right? So we should see a lot of smooth rocks and stuff like that, and yet we don't. We see a lot of crazy things in there that just don't make any sense. And like I said, we see these objects that are in there that defy, being natural. Now, like I said, if anybody looks at rocks like this here, like this right here, they'll go, yeah, they're all rocks. And I would agree. If I looked at it like this, I'd say they're all rocks. And then, like I said, you got people questioning, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. They're all rocks. Yes, but look at them carefully. Really carefully. And you'll see that they're not just rocks. Simple as that. Rick C., what's going on, man? You said, hi, Chris. Hi, everyone. What's happening? James, you said, Chris, you're right. You're right. Why on earth, or what is the name? What in the name of whatever God that these people worshipped would anyone make these complex stories up and cut these events into massive structures? Or, well, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of like when they did the ancient writings, right? The first thing they did was when they seen something that really like, boom, this is like something they felt the need, this paramount importance to literally chisel into some things, make drawings, simple drawings, whether it be hieroglyphs, whatever it might have been, petroglyphs. They felt the strong need to actually draw that out, make it, etch it, do whatever. Again, were they just sitting around going, hey, I believe in UFOs, guys. What do you guys think? Nobody's going to do that back in the day because they never seen anything like it. Now, you can imagine if something like that came out of the sky, they would think they're gods. Think about it. If you were back then, even before Egyptian times, and the only thing that flew in the sky was birds, now suddenly this light comes down and lands on the ground, okay, and these people come out. Mostly everybody around you would probably bow down because you're thinking, oh my God, they know how to fly. They're gods to me. And that's why a lot of these people believe that was the case, that the God that they speak of is nothing more than humanoids like us. Now, I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying that may be the case, or at least back then it's what they thought, right? Jack Lambert, you said, crap, almost missed a hangout. I'll go back and replay. And, of course, he's asking, how's things, see? Wing Chun, you said, I was in combat in the dark sand I see on Mars is what I experienced with IEDs, VBEDs, DS rather, and bombs were used. You see evidence of war through the dark sands. That's true. I've heard that before, too. Now, I don't know that firsthand, of course, but yeah, you're right about that. Mally Husband, you said, pay no mind, Chris. You're the best. Thanks for all you do. Well, I do appreciate that. You get used to that. You get these, I call them transients. They just come through and they'll jump on there and give you a bunch of crap. It's like, it is what it is. I mean, listen, I don't have any problem with people opposing it. I really don't. But when you start going, what the F this, and what are you talking about? Trying to like you're talking down to me, like I've never seen these photos before or never analyzed the first photo. This is not my first rodeo. I've been in this for a long, long time. And it's like, and unless you have seen this or been along for the trip, you have no idea what you're talking about. And that's why I react to these people like that. Maybe it's just a knee-jerk reaction, but I feel it's warranted because apparently they haven't been on here long enough to see what we've seen. That's the only reason why I tell them, I'm just like, you're out. Moonrider Fast, you said, Chris, do you think people can breathe on Mars? I think they may need a small breathing apparatus. Although they say the oxygen is better at the lower part of the ground, towards the ground itself, and you get most of the atmosphere or, whether it be vapor, water vapor, stuff like that, is closest to the ground. So if you're closer to the ground, you got a better chance of breathing. Now, I think you may have a problem with that. You might have to use a little bit of breathing apparatus, but I think on any given day, if they're in the area of Mars' sporadic, magnetic field, you'll be protected from the solar radiation. So you'll be okay as far as that aspect goes, if you're under it. Now, you will be able to breathe, and you can walk around with a shirt like this during the day, a T-shirt, because it gets up to 70 to between 70 and 100 degrees. So, again, that's in summertime, equatorial region, and, of course, that's where they're pretty much close to during the summer months like here on Earth. So, yeah, you could literally walk around with a T-shirt and still be able to function and be fine. You may need a little bit of a breathing apparatus because it may be like being like 20,000 feet on a mountain here. It'd be so thin, right? So unless you get acclimated to that kind of breathing, it's like you're going from now to like suddenly climb Mount Everest. Oh, you're going to have a little bit of problem breathing. So, and many people have, right? Blue Sunset, you said, where I am, there's wild temperature, and our road are all torn up from the contraction and expansion from 160 degrees below to plus 30 centigrade overnight. Maybe Valles Marineris was created like that. That's a possibility, although it could have been anything. Whatever it was huge, right? So it's a good possibility. Bobby, you said it's confusing at first, but the longer you're here, the better it gets. Well, and again, this is the reason why I encourage everybody to look at these photos themselves. I point it out, and then you guys go check it out. You make up your own decision. Like I said, I'm not here to jam it down nobody's throat. It's like, well, I see what he sees, or you don't. But, you know, like I said, it come off sarcastically and stuff like that. It's just, I ain't got time for that crap. I just don't. And they're sure in hell not going to attack my subs. I had one guy attack, because when I did the that particular video about Sarah's finds, and he was saying, oh, do you not look at the high-res photos? And I have. And he says, what do you say? Something sarcastic. He said, do you like her so much you're willing to overlook that? I said, it has nothing to do with it. The person's name could be Steve for all I care. What does it matter? You're not going to attack my subs. It's not going to happen. Not if I can help it. You know, it's one thing to say I disagree. I'm cool with that. Like I said, you guys do it a lot yourselves. You'll be like, Chris, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing something else. Cool. I have no problem with that. But don't talk down to people like they're garbage. I'm just not having it. Pete Ferrero, you said 130 degrees in Death Valley last week. Hottest place on Earth that day. Oh, yeah. It gets real hot there. Renee, you said, Chris, I've also seen pussycats and ducks on Mars. Well, I haven't seen those yet, but is it a remote possibility? Sure, I guess, but I've never seen nothing like that. But, yeah. Oh, you're talking about right here. This is actually looks like an opening type thing right here. It's got a little bit of a... See how like it's open like that? Looks like it's got a bottom piece to it, top right there. But look at the way they digitized this out right here. You guys see that? Right there. On the top of this so-called rock. Look at the way they digitized that out. See the texture? What is that? Something you can almost see like a small round hole there or some kind of little detail. Look at the lines in that. This is what we're talking about here. Let's see. Well, Frank Miklos, he said, you have our backs. Well, I just believe it shouldn't be right. You know what I mean? I see that on too many channels. People are getting attacked, and I don't really see the YouTuber itself actually, you know, the uploader itself trying to, you know, say, you know, get rid of these comments. It's not, you know, one guy said to me, well, it's good to have negative comments too because, you know, you're still getting views. Well, it's not about the views really. It's about, you know, it's one thing to disagree, and I'm okay with that. But well, like I said, when you start attacking people like, oh, you're an idiot this and an idiot that, it's like, well, wait a minute, hold on. View your opinion, give your opinion, and be respectful about it. Yeah, it's just something I never liked about people. It's, you know, doing stuff like that. I don't think it's right. We all have our own opinions, and everybody's welcome to them. But being basically a shithead ain't the way to be. All right, let's see here. James, you said, did you notice the great amount of new subscribers coming on board in the last few months and so on? That tells you have the winner channel, end of story. Well, I mean, I like to think so. I mean, you know, I just believe in trying to be honest with people. I just say, listen, this is what we found. Let's analyze it. Could I be way off base with what we're seeing? Absolutely. I don't have a problem with that. What we can do is best describe it the best we can for what we're seeing. You know, again, everybody's got their opinions. They might say, Chris, I don't see it that way. I see this instead. Fine. You know, because nobody's right and nobody's wrong because we truly don't know what these things are. Now, we can tell the difference between something, you know, artificial and things that are natural, at least pretty darn close. We're pretty good at it, right? So that's the way I look at it. And, that's all we can do is speculate as to what these things are and, just go from there. You're right about that, Corey. He said, manners don't cause crap. When John, you said some of the older Spirit Rover photos show an artillery-type mechanism, or mechanized type, that looks like a laser pointing in the sky. The Martians must have been very advanced. I think I know which one you're talking about. It literally has a small piece, and I think it's facing off to the left and towards the back, right? I think that's the one you're talking about. Now, that could be just a funky-looking rock. It's just been weathered that way. It kind of looks like this weird little cannon type thing, because it's not very big. If you look at that photo, it's very, very small. If it's the one I think the one I think you're talking about, right? Robert Hart, he said, I agree that there may be more atmosphere and water on Mars than we've been told. The issue might be the lack of magnetic field to protect us from cosmic radiation. And that could very well be, like I said, though, Mars does have a sporadic magnetic field. So if you're under that particular section, you may be protected. Without it, though, you may be cooked. So, yeah. Other than that, no. I mean, I think there's more of a water cycle than they're saying, even though I was surprised that the guy said it. That was basically the drill engineer for Curiosity, and they were talking about how when it drills, it literally pulls up a sample into a tube, and then, of course, it goes into a spectrometer. It gets a laser hit, it hits it with a laser, and then it studies the compounds of this sand or whatever they're picking up. And they said, well, sometimes it can get clogged because we get clogged. He says, is there water? Yeah, we found out there's actually a water cycle on Mars. I'm like, whoa. So they actually come out and admit it. I've been saying it all along. So they actually come out and admit it. I'm like, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. So, again, they're slowly coming out with it. So I think we're cool. I think we'll start to hear more and more of it, and especially next year. I can't wait for the Perseverance to land. Something tells me, though, what do you guys think? Do you think the Curiosity is going to completely keep rolling, or do you think somehow it's going to have some kind of, I don't know, maybe that last motherboard is going to completely take a dump, wheels going to fall off? What do you guys think? You think they'll keep it on for another couple years, or do you think they're going to make it take a dump? What do you guys think? Oh, Brian, I'm sorry about that if I am. You said, you're killing me, Chris. You're skipping all my comments. I don't mean to be. Did I miss them there? Let me go back here. Oh, okay, there's one. Okay. This chat is for real and about common sense. If you knew Chris, you would understand he is all up front. Well, and I try to be. I never came on here just to blow smoke. That's not what I'm here for. I do it because I like doing it. It's my hobby kind of thing. And like I said, I decided to share it. Now, like I said, I expect people to disagree with me, but just be respectful about it. And like I said, I just expect, people not to attack other people. This is the reason why we get along so well in here, because the less chance of that, because we're all like-minded people, right? So less chance of that. But every now and then you get people jump in there, and of course they'll be rude and ignorant and stuff like that, and you just kick them off like a dead fly. That's all. Exactly, TVV. You said they need to keep it going. The more eyes, the better for us. Exactly. You think so, Mr. Gosme? You said Curiosity will have some fake breakdown. Well, I'm thinking the same thing, because they're saying the wheels are being torn apart. But if you look at the way they're designed, the whole wheel can literally fall apart, but it has still a ring. Now, don't get me wrong. A ring is not going to get that thing around if it's in real bad soil, right? The wider the wheel, the more it can stay on top of that sand. And this is the reason why they're so darn wide. You're right about that, Dr. Z. He said, yep, an open mind is very healthy. That's the way to be. Keep an open mind. I mean, don't get me wrong. You don't want to go totally mental with it. Go, oh, yeah, and go off the deep end with it. But you keep an open mind. You know, say, is it a possibility? Is the person conveying the information, are they just trying to blow smoke up our rear ends, or are they being, genuine? So this is the reason why I give you the links to every photo that I show you so you can analyze it yourself. And a lot of you guys and ladies and gents are literally putting this stuff into Photoshop, and you're finding the same thing I'm finding, and that's what I want to see. And everybody else doing the work and, and checking it out. Again, if I get 1 or 2 people doing it, I've done my job. Because like I said, I won't be around forever, and just like you guys won't be either. You want somebody to basically take the torch and run with it, right? That's basically what it comes down. Third Eye Open, you said, we appreciate you, Chris. Well, I appreciate you guys too. Absolutely. Dustin Martin, you said, well, I'm glad that you shared this hobby with us. These photos are fascinating. I do too. It's like I said, I looked at this stuff. I said, man, I wonder how many other people are doing this. So I literally go down and I start looking and I'm going, well, I see other people doing these videos and that's cool, But why aren't they seeing the parts that are like peeking out of the bottom of these rocks? And why aren't they seeing that these things are actually dressed up to look like rocks? And this is the reason why I decided to start doing this. Because I look at these and I just go, wow, there's just so much in here to see, although at first glance it looks like nothing more than rocks. And if you haven't been looking at these yourself or been on another channel like John Ward's, my channel, Jimmy's, Jimmy Roberts, stuff like that, even if you don't agree with the uploader, it doesn't matter. It's about checking it out yourself, and that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Architect Net, you said always the healthy cynic. Well, yeah. And like I said, I don't care that people are opposed to the idea or what I say. That's fine. We all got our own opinions, got our own eyes, man. Some people see things that are living. I don't. And I'm not trying to be, totally opposed to everybody else, but I'm not going to attack you for saying that. I'm not going to say, well, the person said I seen people over there, a little rock over there. Okay. I just don't see them. Now, I might look closer and say, well, it kind of does look like a person, like a little person or whatever. But I'm more apt to see more mechanical and stuff like that before I would see more of a person. Maybe that's just the way my brain's wired. I've always worked on cars. I was a tool setter for 13 years. So maybe this is the reason why I see more mechanical, where other people maybe they were in a job or they related to people all the time. Who knows what the reason is? Maybe we're hardwired to see certain things. I don't know. You're right about that, Wing Chun. You said YouTube has erased a lot of the videos and photos from UFOs, Moon, and Mars channels the last several years. Oh, yeah, they literally will stop. Like you see right on the side of every time you go into a video, right, you have these suggested videos to watch. You say, recommended for you. Well, they've done away with it. Even they've done it to my channel, where they've literally, you don't even see them. And if you do, it's like maybe 1 or 2 of them. So this is the reason why I say, and even, well, let me backtrack. Even you guys have said, some of you guys have said, I'm not getting notifications. That's why I said you got to be like almost like watching your favorite cable channel, right? Just keep checking back. Keep checking back because you know darn well they're not going to be giving you notifications all the time. Some of you guys have said, dude, I don't even get your notifications. Well, they're there, and it should be notifying you, but they're not seeing it. But like I said, the more they see thumbs up, the more apt to share the video because it's saying, okay, there's a lot more positives than there is negatives. And you're going to always see more positives than negatives on a lot of these channels anyway, right? So the more, that's why I keep saying it, I emphasize it in my videos, go ahead and give the thumbs up. It helps get the video out. They will share it more. And this is the reason why I keep saying it over and over again, because we want to get this information out, right? And by the way, if you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, no. Dan, you said, yeah, I had to learn that when people disagreed with me at first, I was getting mad, and then I'm like, they have a right to their own opinion, even if it's clearly flawed. Well, yeah, again, you may not agree with me, and I may not agree with you, okay, but we can still be chill together, right? We can still say, well, he's got his opinion, she's got her opinion. I'm okay with that. Now, maybe in the past I've done the same, but I go, yeah, but they're more than welcome to, because I may say a certain thing, won't agree with me. So do I have to have people get mad at me and upset? No. I don't care, See, there you go. Just got another hater. Gotta love it. Two thumbs down. Oh my God, are you guys gonna be able to sleep tonight with these thumbs down? I don't know about you guys. I'm gonna lose sleep, man. I just don't know how to act. Chia. Wing Chun says thumbs up, everyone. Hit it good. Well, I appreciate that, Diamond Dog. You said, hi, Chris. Been listening for the last couple of hours. Thought I'd say hello from Plymouth, England. Always love your work. Great stuff. Cheers. Well, cheers right back at you, Diamond Dog. I appreciate you. And yeah, I'm glad you jumped in there. Archetype, you said, I've noticed if you have subscribed to a lot of channels and select notify all for many of them, YouTube will switch some of them off in the belief you can't watch them all. Huh, imagine that. That may be true. I never thought of that. There you go, Wing Chun. We can all agree there are Martian cats and chickens. That's what it is. We've been wrong all along. Frank Miklos, he said, lucky on my feed, your two channels show up in suggestions all the time by Roku and phone. Oh, that's awesome. Good. Renee says, share, hit, smash, thumbs up, liked, subscribe, notification bell, membership, join buttons, and get Chris, Mars, Moon, Anomalies, and Beyond gear merch. Yeah, don't forget to get the merchandise. I noticed, like I said, if I'm watching on my computer, I don't know if you guys do this. If you're watching on your computer, you don't see the merch underneath the video. If I watch it on my phone, I see it all the time. It's right there underneath. So, yeah, thank you guys for actually getting the merchandise as well, right? I like the idea I can have actually clothing from my channels, right? Because I've got a couple that I've bought stuff from, and you can wear it proudly. Yeah, Elaine, I'm the same way. I'm all bummed out now. You said 2 thumbs down. Oh no, whatever we gonna do? Oh my God, my whole weekend's screwed up now. Gotta love it. Haters gonna hate. Love them right back. Nothing but love for you. That's a good movie, Win Chun. Yeah, John Carter is a really good movie. If you guys haven't a chance to see that, that's good. Movie John Carter, 2012, has a city helium. Where is it? I'm not sure where it's at, but it's a good movie. I think I know which one you're talking about, Rene Cruz. You say, I saw an extraterrestrial alien and xenophobe face hugger on Mars with tentacles. I think I've seen something similar to that. You know, like you get that Martian crab they showed before, too. It was just funny. That, when you see that, it has that weird look like that. It has like these tentacles and stuff like that. Really, really weird. Now, I've actually enhanced that myself, and I didn't see anything that looked like that. But, it depends on what you're actually looking at and what kind of details, how clear is it. Well, like I said, you notice they're listening. Look at it. Now there's 5 thumbs down. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What are we going to do, guys? And don't worry about it. They can be actually rewarded to that, too, You can get thumbs down as well. Just remember that. Nicholas Hannon, you said, hi, Chris. I'm not sure. Reason they disclose as little as possible because funding research into that field of work will stop. No, I think, like most people would agree, the more they would actually show, you think they'd get more funding. But see, back in the days when the moon landings, they actually were depending on the public to get funding. But now they're just taking it out of, they're literally just taking out of the basically United States. I mean, they're just taking out of there. This is the reason why you have such a deficit now that's huge. And it's like, I forget what it was. What was it, guys? Like in 2001, 2004, where it was like, I forget what it was. It was like $8 billion just went, gone. and nobody knew where it went. You know, this is like a black ops thing. You know, money doesn't just disappear. Clearly, it's going somewhere. So, yeah. So you have to ask yourself, you know, what's the deal? I think you know, if they to show it now to the public has no bearing on it, whether they get money or not, because they literally get it from, you know, the government itself. They go to Congress and ask for the money, and they get it. So they don't get it from us, although it pretty much comes out of our rear ends regardless. But yeah, you get the idea. Let's see. TFV, you said, Chris, which is your favorite Gigapan? Honestly, I don't know. I really don't. Because there's always something different in these things, right? A lot of times you see nothing but rocks, and then there's times where you start to see like there's a lot more pieces sticking out of rocks that should not be there. So there's really no favorite per se. I guess it's just whatever you find in these things. Now, if you found a lot more of it in there, in other words, you found, let's say, an actual structure or something that really wasn't hidden, oh my God, yeah. You go, that's the one right there. So, yeah. All right, guys, we're going to jump off of this. It's been a long time. How long have we been doing this? It's been at least, what? It's 8:40 now, so wow. Definitely a good hangout. This is awesome. Let me jump on off this. I said, we probably won't be on there that long tonight. But yes, awesome. And I don't have a problem with that. Great hangout as always. You guys are awesome. Just so much in here to see. Let me see if I can get this here. Here we go. Just, you know, like I said, there's so much in these things to see, man. It's just like, and so much information out there as far as science. You know, I like to share pages with you guys. Again, you'll get all the links. This thing won't be finished processing right away, but it doesn't matter. As soon as it gets on there, I'm going to go ahead and post all these links. I'll just put one through whatever. I think it's 5 or 6 of them at least. So I'll put them all there for you guys. You can all check them out and have a good look at it, right? Yeah, exactly, William. 5 thumbs down. You're 57,004 subs. Say more. Yep, time is up again, Elaine. Hate to see everybody go, but man, I can't believe it. We're just talking and then look at it. Brian Norton, thank you very much, sir, for your support. It is appreciated. He said, Chris, headed to Snowshoe Golf Course in the West Virginia Labor Day weekend. Is that close to you? An old Stonewall Golf Course? No, I think it's a little further away. That's a good distance away from me. I'm guessing it's about 3 or 4 hours away from me, but that's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, it's probably about 3 or 4 hours away from me. But thank you very much for your support, man. It is appreciated. Anybody who hasn't hit that thumbs up, go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me, guys. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And again, guys, great hangout as always. Again, I mean, just a great bunch of people. And like I said, these guys think they're going to offend me by putting these little thumbs down. But you know what? This is no word of a lie, guys. And you'll see this. Watch every single video that I put out is at least 4. Every single time. And maybe you'll get more, of course. And I'm okay with that. But it's funny. 4. Every single time. And it could be on my moon or these. People must think we're stupid. It's like, I actually know who these people are that are doing this. And I just think it's comical. Another one popped up. Went 6, now it's 5. Now it's 6, then 5. And like I said, I don't care. It's not going to hurt my feelings any, guys. If you think, oh my God, I'm going to cripple his world, man, then go for it. I don't care. And like you said, you know, we say otherwise. So anyway, thumbs up, everyone, MG Toe says. Before we jump on and off of this, everybody have yourselves a great weekend. Much love to everybody here. Thanks for your support, whether, you know, monetized or... you know, just normal support. I've got your back. I know you guys got mine. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome. Again, be safe. This corona crap is still out there. Hopefully at some point we can actually walk around without a mask. That'd be terrific. So just be safe, everyone. Keep your family safe. Much love to everybody. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you guys soon, man. Don't forget to we're probably going to have, it's going to be, I've got like two, yeah, I think there's two. No, there's one moon video, one Mars, and I think, actually I do have an additional moon. So there's an additional moon one coming. So just keep your eyes open for that, guys. Have a great weekend. Like I said, we're going to kick back and enjoy the weekend. You guys do the same. Anyway, guys,